Yeah, what's with Dutch Bros like with the whole mafia shit?
That's their it's their
They
thing,
call their
you know?
employees.
Ain't no thugs over there.
Huh?
Let's go. You see the Dutch Bros staff? Who are they pressing?
Us.
Parks employees?
Dude, I go every day. They rob me of my money. That's for sure. They are our mafia.
I mean, the Rebel drinks are kind of fire, especially the water.
You like the Rebels? I guess you like. If you like energy drinks, I get it. But I'm not an energy.
I can't
drink fan.
cause with coffee, dude, I just had like I said, probably 9 cups of coffee, and my intestines are hating me right now.
Oh no, I don't like coffee either.
Then why do you?
The podcast is themed around
Oh,
coffee.
well, yeah, true.
This is the only time I ever drink coffee.
Gotcha. All right.
Is when it's for the image. That's why I have my lemonade over there.
It's kind of scary.
Hmm.
And I don't
What do you
say
mean
this.
what's scary.
I don't say this in the way that some people do. They're like, "Oh my god, I can drink so much coffee."
That's not something to be particularly proud
Yeah,
of.
but
No, that's what I
you're-
mean. It's kind of scary the amount of coffee I can drink and nothing
That's
happens.
that's
Well,
like
you're born in number 2 coffee country. You guys are born drinking coffee. It's in your IV bags in California. It's the second IV drip behind the water bag.
Yeah.
Them New Yorkers in Seattle.
But if there's one thing that I dislike more than anything, it's coffee culture, which does exist. Sort of
well, yeah, yeah.
and I say this coming from.
Wait, maybe we should start the podcast and get into this.
Oh, do you want?
Or, I was gonna say
okay.
just let's start organically like this. This is
Okay.
pretty cool.
All right. Cold open. Fine. All right. We'll
So
continue.
coffee culture, which I dislike and I say this coming from wine country. And
Oh, you come from wine country?
Yeah, so I'm
you
right
bougie,
Near
bougie.
Santa Clarita type shit.
No, Paso Robles, which
Oh.
is more of the agricultural side of wine country. So it's not the highly marketable. It's more the actual wineries are there where they're actually, in the fields, stomping the grapes, stuff like that. Really cool. But wine culture fucking sucks. Because all it is just 40-year-old whiny mom. They're like, mommy needs vino. And I'm like, you know what, shut the fuck up.
Well, it's all about class. It's all about a classist thing or elitism. and
Yeah,
shit.
and we also have some breweries near us, and then it's yeah, this is where the men will go, and the women will just enjoy their wine at the wineries. And I'm like, how about anyone can enjoy whatever the fuck they want. You don't have to tell me.
Yeah.
Right. See,
And going to any event ever, you're just gonna see everyone just fucking drunk off their ass.
I just think that it's super problematic for when people are just trying to enjoy a drink, and then you have those people who go oh, do you know how many flavors are in this drink right now?
Yeah.
It's been ordained by the Pope's nutsack.
basically, basically.
And just it's kind of ruining the experience for just casual people. I think that in a lot of cultures, people forget there are just people who are just in there, just not as deep as everyone else, the casual people, and it's okay to have those people.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone is a part of somewhat culture where they're just where they're super casual about it.
Well, a lot of people a lot of people don't understand the effect of how wine can get you more drunk faster than most other, consumer alcohols. And
Plus,
it's
the stains suck.
yes. And it's really kind of embarrassing to go to literally anything in my area because there's always going to be 15 people that are drunk off their ass who think they're not, and they think they're cool because they're like, oh, I have my wine and I'm high class, but meanwhile I look like a fucking buffoon running around. I was at a film festival, and there was one of the most highly respected screenwriters of all time sitting right next to me. Okay, this dude wrote fucking...
Was it Brad or Zack Snyder?
No.
Director of
This guy wrote fucking Apocalypse Now.
oh.
I mean, I've heard of that movie, never seen it.
He's sitting right there, and I'm like, wow, this is really cool. This guy from the front row, and this is an event where they're catering it with massive, it's the highest amount of alcohol delivered to any event in the Central Coast. It's a huge event, but it's a really cool event. And so there's this guy who gets up from the front row, from the VIP row, and which means that they have little bracelets that mean at any time during the show or the movie they can get up and get a refill. Everyone else has to get their drink before the movie or after the movie. But he's a VIP, so he can do whatever the fuck he wants. He gets up. He already has a full beer, and he's going to get a wine. and he's like,
Double fist.
and he's like stumbling around. I'm like, uh-oh, this can't be good. He literally fucking falls on the screenwriter next to me. Somehow doesn't spill his alcohol, and he's like, in the middle of the movie, I'm sorry. And he starts laughing, and I'm like, this man is an embarrassment to society.
All people who, I don't know, I just don't.
I think
Yeah.
if you
It's
drink
just
if you drink in public, that's just what's gonna
There's
happen.
just a big culture of that back home, and it
I just-
bothers me.
I just think it's all the people who don't know how to drink or handle their alcohol in public are all the ones who want to go out and drink in public.
Yeah. Yeah, because they think it's funny, or they think, no, it's not that bad. I'm not that bad. And it just bothers me.
Yeah,
because
no, Bethany, it is that bad.
everyone where I'm from is encouraged to express that behavior, and I don't understand why.
Because you're from California.
But it's a different part of Cal. It's like it's a weird niche
but
aspect.
It's a
no,
niche
I
aspect.
get it.
It's a niche aspect, but it's a niche aspect of California.
Yeah. No, I get it. But it's like, circling back to coffee, I also come from a place where it's like, everyone at any point in the day will say, I can't go on without my coffee. And it's like, you can only hear that so many times before snapping and having your fucking falling down moment. And I'm just like, I hate that. I love coffee. I will drink coffee. It's great. And sometimes I'll post like, oh, I got my coffee. But I hate broadcasting to everyone that I cannot function in the day without coffee, because it's not true. I can't function without sleep. It's not your lack of caffeine. It's your lack of sleep, and it's your lack of scheduling and lack of prioritization of how to deal with your goddamn day. Because I know there's people out there who could go to sleep early but don't. We, unfortunately, just have shit kicking us in the face, so we have to do our stuff. And yeah, maybe there's some procrastination involved.
I'd much rather just work during the night. Everyone's asleep. No one's there to bother me.
That's what I do.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
it's way better than working during the day. Plus, you don't have to worry about more stuff happens in the daytime. That's when everybody's going to be moving house and need help moving, or they're up. Like anything could come up. Someone has car trouble. It's going to most often be in the daytime when they're going to need help. So that's why it's good to have the day open.
Yeah.
Even though nobody else has the fucking day open, so there's nobody on playing fucking games during the fucking daytime.
Dog,
My days are about to get real different.
Yeah, these last fucking couple weeks are going to be fucking killer.
Yeah, we're
winding down.
on the end of our semester here. Still got half a year left to record in the studio before we do before we start worrying.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I actually have a couple of physical classes next semester.
Nice,
which is
good.
gonna change things a lot. Also, I have a class on Thursday, which means we're probably gonna have to change the podcast date.
Yeah,
But I assumed that was gonna happen.
Yeah.
I was gonna say because like we have different schedules now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I'm excited for next semester and
I'm
whatnot, though,
very
too.
happy. This schedule became a lot more. So I originally, on paper, it looked fine, right? Because it didn't look like I was going to be doing much at all. So I had like a devised stream schedule and everything, and I was like, I'm going for it. This is about to be my act. Like I'm gonna actually get my momentum ahead of me. I'm gonna get my feet I'm gonna get my good foot forward. Was the way I was thinking about it. And then as soon as the year started, I realized how wrong I was, because every day that I had designated for like streaming or something, I had the most homework. And then every day I had free time was the day I had other stuff I was obligated to get done. So I fucked myself with my schedule this semester. I won't lie.
I feel like with fall, it's easy to be optimistic coming into a fall semester and from summer, because like you want to do all these things and stuff and whatnot, but then like you get to like the nitty gritty of like your schedule and how much like actual time and dedication is required, rather than like oh, it's just gonna be like I'm gonna dedicate this amount of time stuff. I just feel like with that stuff, it's like more of a trial and error to like find like the perfect time, like the perfect like schedule for you.
Yeah.
I think that more people find their shit in spring semester than they do in fall.
Yeah.
I got fucked over though, because as soon as those early enrollment kids steal all your shit. I had to redo my classes like 6 times. Buy that and wear it. Go up, up that one. Yep, the yellow one. Yep.
Okay. I will.
I don't know what you're buying, but I hope it's
There was just
expensive.
some jumpsuit or something that I saw in his Instagram feed, and I said it's got to be done.
Dude, Instagram, I don't like this new update with the market shit. I do not like it.
Everything
just-
has to have a market now. Everything has to have money. Everything. It's fucking meta, bro.
Yeah, it's
Goddamn,
really fucking weird that they named it that.
Piece
Oh,
of
the
shit.
I mean,
Mark
I
Zuckerberg.
know. I mean, we can all probably
Have
guess
we-
why.
Have
like,
we
you
ever
know, it's a joke.
discussed, like, I guess not really. I haven't talked about it like anywhere besides maybe on stream. I'm distraught at like the Facebook changes and all that, because I've been in the VR ecosystem since when right before the Rift S came out. I bought a Rift S, and then I've had a PlayStation VR before that. So I've been in the ecosystem for a couple years, and now I have a Quest 2 and full body tracking and all that. So, and all of the peripherals you can possibly buy right now, save for a haptic suit that I'm still trying to buy. And I'm waiting on the Force tube so you can get real gun kickback, which will be nice. But Meta or whatever, Facebook, whatever they're calling, it's scaring me. I don't like what they're going for. I'm afraid. I don't like how workplace focused they're going with their stuff. Their idea, they're like, oh, we're trying to create a metaverse and all that, right? Like the Ready Player One shit and all that. I don't want a company in charge of it. I feel like it would be stupid to have a company in charge of the entire second world that we live in. I feel like that's the entire crux of the issue of Ready Player One.
I was gonna say, like, do you know where we live in? Like, if there's any place that's gonna happen first, it's gonna be like here.
Right, but do you know how easy it'd be to just do it? Like, okay, the perfect metaverse is an open-ended, open source
Wait, hold up.
economy.
Okay, hold on. Keep going. Never mind. Just keep going.
Huh?
Keep going.
And it's like I've spent a lot of time, and also there's this I don't know, I saw it in a Thrill Seeker video. There was this company that made like a sleep down. It's called the Half Dive headset, where you lay. It's got a pillow on the back. You lay on it, and it puts it's over your face. 2 little sensors on the bottom of your feet, and then little controllers. We're halfway there. We are halfway there.
To fucking Wally, bro.
Yeah, dog.
Well,
for
Wally,
real.
I guess, but like it was inspired by Sword Art Online, like literally written on the webpage
Oh.
that they were inspired by by the full dive.
Bro.
And I'm so excited. That's what I can't wait for. That's what I've been in love with the idea of that forever.
I'm happy you're excited for that because I know you'll make good use of it, but
It's not
I
gonna be
fear for
coming.
society.
It's not gonna be coming for. They're getting there,
Have you
but
guys
it's
seen like the
way
later
like,
seasons of Adventure Time at all?
no.
No.
Nothing
Oh,
close to
okay. Well,
that.
there's a bit in the later seasons where they go and find where the humans are, and one island there's like a few different islands that showed the different ways like humans decided to preserve themselves as the world started to decay, and one of them chose to preserve everybody in like a virtual game world, like a VR chat style thing, and so like. It really got me thinking about how like we would choose to preserve ourselves in a digital space, like a la The Matrix. I know I haven't seen the movie, but like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I can't speak on much of the Matrix, to be quite honest.
But it's
I
like,
don't know anything. To be quite honest,
how do you guys feel about the idea of living in like a virtual world after this?
Fuck that.
Would you rather preserve yourself in like a VR chat type
no.
world? Have you played VR chat before?
Yes, I have no desire to put
Really?
Nope, zero.
If it's anything like VR chat, I say no.
Really? I
No,
thought
I
you
have
would have
zero.
fucking loved that kind of shit.
You know,
I have
it was
zero.
funny for a bit, like for at least for me, for like a
It's an
gimmick.
enjoyment, but like at the end of the day, it's artificial and shit.
I vividly enjoy it.
I mean, it's cool and shit, and it's awesome, but
I'm not like addicted to it. Like I've heard some people can get to it, but like
But like
enjoy it.
with the stuff about like like the nerve gear from like talking about Sword Art Online,
Uh-huh.
the nerve gear and stuff like that. Like think about like the like actually applying people like doctors would have to be involved with this because if they're they would have to like find some way to keep these people like their hearts pumping and stuff.
No,
Really,
fuck the doctors and fuck their hearts. Listen,
The
you
heart-
play the game knowing the risks. Just how the Wii starts up and it tells you to put the Wii strap on with that little warning. Yeah, I think they just put that at the beginning about warning your heart could explode if you stay here for too long.
Nice.
yeah.
And then boom, it absolves them of all guilt, and you knew what you're getting into. That way, all the people who try hard the fucking game to like to bullshit the economy, the people who try to billionaire like CEO mogul the virtual world because they can't do it in the real world, those people get shocked and their pacemaker sets off.
You seem to have a lot of control for what's happening to these people. You want to let us in on what's going on that you have planned for this?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure if you do create a virtual, like, expansive world, there will be a Watch Dogs type scenario where eventually the hackers start becoming like this faction.
I mean, it's happening now, although small, but I feel like.
But like in the real world, I feel like it's a smaller, slower push.
It's a smaller, slower push, but it's one that's like, there's a reason why a lot of like politicians, like, they don't fuck with like these, I think they're anonymous and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And to be quite honest, like, it takes anyone with a fucking computer and a set of wits to keep cracking at this.
Before I took that programming class, I myself thought that I could have taken like a job of like white knight hacking or something. I thought that'd be a cool one. But then I realized just how fucking boring it is to sit there and put in code, and I realized I couldn't sit there and learn it.
For coding, you have to be that type of person to, like, if there's a problem in front of you and like you can't like leave without solving it, that's coding.
Yeah, my brain could not do it.
First 2 minutes, this shit hard. Nah, dog.
Yeah.
Just it's
they had like a 24-hour coding event here.
I remember.
No, yeah, fuck that, dog.
Those kids are good.
But like,
it's my attention span. I just can't focus long enough for that.
Yeah, no. I mean, there's too many ins and outs of it, and like
put me in charge of the Chernobyl reactor. We're getting Chernobyl. Like that's how it's going. I'm too lazy to focus on it.
Is that a threat?
Well, no, because the reason Chernobyl went off, I think, is because no one was paying attention to the fucking levels.
That's not what happened.
I swear there was a spike, and it could have been fixed if someone was paying attention.
Wasn't it a leak?
It was leaked, dog.
Well, I'm pretty sure you could stop. I'm pretty sure there's something you can do to fix that if you're monitoring it.
I'm gonna code
what's
the
a new
pipes.
The pipes.
No, they just built the place. They just built the place and said, "Oh, everything's fine. Is saved for I don't know. Maybe a leak might happen.
It's
Russia. And if a leak happens, we're gonna blow up like 30 square miles. But we didn't come up with a plan.
I have some theories about Chernobyl.
There had to be a backup in place for a leak.
And guess what? The backup failed. That's how bad that leak was.
I want to go. Can we go? Can we? Like, I know we tossed the idea. We tossed the
going
idea around.
Not going to Chernobyl.
Before we did it, before one of our tournaments, we tossed the idea of going to Chernobyl as a team around. Can we go as a team field trip? I think if we get half the funding from the school and the other half, we pay for
I hope
ourselves.
you all have a great time, and I hope you guys come back with warts, you motherfuckers.
I want to
Study abroad in Chernobyl.
I want to swim in the reactor pool. It'd be such a cool photo.
You can go ahead and do all you want, Bruce Banner, when you come back
it's
looking like
completely safe to swim in those pools.
They're not touched
by the They're not touched by the reactor.
Neither is anywhere near there that God lives.
Do you want to know the difference between movie leaks and
Reactor
chemical reactor leaks?
What?
I've seen that image. It's great.
One where it's like movie leaks. No, how could you spoil this character's death? Reactor leaks. My face is melting.
God damn it. Chernobyl. Yeah, not going there. It's too sketchy. Too sketchy.
Fine.
I guarantee they're still doing shit. Like, there's a reason why that, like,
Can we try to sneak under the Smithsonian Museum from the area from Night at the Museum?
I'm not sure that area exists.
That area definitely exists. Where else would they store everything?
I mean, you got a point, but it's been a while since I've actually seen that movie.
It's Night at the Museum 2. When he goes to the Smithsonian in Washington, there's like an underground storage area where they put all the exhibits. Can we try to? Can we get in there? How hard could that be?
Probably pretty hard.
Let's say we get some payday masks, and
homie, we're not doing that.
I think it's
that's just a GTA 5 server at that point.
I think it's totally acceptable if we just start committing crime.
Let's do small scale crime and not just jump to genocide.
I haven't played Payday. No, I have played Payday recently. And I've realized there's no linear enough campaign for me to continue playing it.
So there is no structure to the campaign.
Yeah, that pisses me off. I can't do it.
It's it's basically the same simulator over and over for you to, for you and your friends to play with. It's a great multiplayer game, but it gets stale after a while. But I guess that's what makes the customization of that game like really cool though too.
Yes.
But I've never seen anyone complete any of those missions. I probably will have to find them, but like on like, you know, quiet and shit.
I usually like to do them on quiet.
I haven't seen very many people like done it, but I haven't gone
It's
out of
way
my
more
way.
difficult that way, but
Yeah. I just see people just, you know.
stealth mode is usually my main option in games. That being said,
Really?
yeah. That being
Depends on the
said,
game.
I'm not opposed to a little gunplay.
Depends on the game. Depends on the game. If it's something like, well, I guess it's unfair to say because there's certain games that want you to, like, you know, like the stealth approach.
You know, like the stealth missions in the Call of Duty campaign.
Mhm.
God, I fucking hate
Those
those.
were always great. Even though it's like very scripted and like you can't really fuck it up very, very well. And if you do, it kind of restarts.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Kind of like that one.
Those are still fun. That's why the COD campaigns make it feel good. The campaigns always felt right. It's what the games were designed for. It's what I liked the most. And it's a shame they suck now.
The campaigns?
Mm-hmm. These last few campaigns have been
Oh, yeah.
awful.
No, they haven't been very good. But
These last few games have been awful.
hold up.
This latest one's terrible.
Oh, hold up. Actually,
Vanguard
that's
is awful.
Let's calm down now. It's really hold up. First of all, it's a Call of Duty game.
It's
Get
modern.
every-
It's modern warfare.
We get-
Again, it is.
It's reskinned. It's reskinned.
It's a game from
Granted.
2 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. But some of the stuff, y'all cannot deny that everything that they've expanded in Vanguard from like the Modern Warfare from 2019, they've done like it's the same game, but it's like it's way better.
That's
though.
cool. It's just I didn't like it the first time they gave it to me.
You didn't
That's
like the 2019 Modern Warfare?
No.
Oh my god, you are nuts, dude. That was a
I
great
barely
game.
like Warzone, and I'm forcing myself to play it now because I know Vanguard's gonna be for Warzone. Like my problem is I don't fucking like this gritty, hard to see Call of Duty. I don't like the
Hard to see?
You know how hard your character blends in with the gray ass background everywhere.
Okay, hold up. So I feel like with that, that's just
Camouflage. Yeah, that's the argument. That's called bad game design, is what it is.
yeah. Well, that's bad game design. But overall, like from
You're
like
pissing on my head and telling me it's raining.
Actually, hold on.
It's not camouflage.
you thought the campaign for the 2019 one.
No, the
was-
campaign was good for 2019 Call of Duty.
Okay, gotcha.
It's just the multiplayer was dog shit.
I feel like they were trying for a lot of stuff. They were being that it was a pretty ambiguous project for like what they were trying to do.
I
and
didn't
stuff.
like the multiplayer, and I haven't liked Call of Duty multiplayer since Black Ops 2. That's just a fact.
And here's the thing though too that I saw a video and it actually represented where it actually conveyed my feelings about how we look at video games compared to like other people who play them.
Mm-hmm.
Black Ops 2 and all those other games, like let's be honest, and maybe we can do a podcast on this. Let's actually critically analyze like these games for what they were and stuff, like depending on the standards now. Because I guarantee you, the only reason why we're all like saying like, oh, there will not be nothing like Black Ops 2, or nothing be like Modern Warfare 2, is because of it's like we all have the nostalgia stuff. We all
I
have
don't
the
think you're
nostalgia
allowed to
biases.
compare games like that.
But
I
see,
think
the thing is-
the biggest issue is any game, if you updated its graphics to match today's standards, that's when you compare it. Like when you're comparing two games, one old, one new, you take that old one, you go, if it had today's graphics.
No, okay, hold on.
What
Not
is the
today's
issue
graphics,
between
but
these
like breaking down like gameplay wise though too.
In my,
And like,
in my
what's it, like where
opinion,
we can both judge them on the same basis.
we haven't had a good Halo multiplayer since Halo 3 until now.
Yeah.
And honestly, Infinite is doing everything in its power to bring back that classic 2 and 3 feel with a modern twist. Whereas
Dude,
what Call of
Infinite's
Duty's
good.
right now, yeah, Infinite's amazing.
Halo Infinite is fucking phenomenal. The assault rifle functions very differently in this
Yeah.
game. So it is
I
very,
love the way this thing
it
functions
feels
because I'm
better.
mowing people
I just
down.
have to retrain my brain not to play the normal shooter way anymore. I have to play Halo again.
Yeah.
And it's been a while.
It is interesting,
It-
like the
yeah.
aiming and your timing.
Because
shooting melee, shooting melee.
I
like-
forget that meleeing is a huge part of
Yeah.
the Halo experience.
I'll have someone like come really close to me, jump, and when I should melee,
dude,
I
grapple hook melee kills or grapple hook energy sword
Yep.
kills. Oh my
the most
fucking
satisfying
God.
thing fucking ever, dude. Okay, I pulled off one, and it was one that I saw on YouTube, and I'm like, I have to try it. And everything lined up perfectly. It was on, I forgot what map.
Yeah, these maps, do they
It was
have names?
the
They do,
They're
but
in, like,
let's
the
be honest.
menu,
No
right?
one like you don't.
It was the desert one with the
Well,
where
we
the
can't actually
sniper
look at-
spawns.
Gotcha.
We don't even get like we get the names of the maps, but like we can't like go. We can't filter them out though too. That's a
Yeah.
that's a big. That's
I
another
think
big
when the
thing
game
that we
comes
have.
out of beta, we'll get all that
Yeah.
stuff.
But it's weird that they said that like this was like their version of the full release for the multiplayer though too.
I know, but they're like,
They
it's
renamed it as a beta.
Keep in mind,
So-
it's a month before it's supposed to come out. So it's a month-long beta, and they're like, "Well, we wanted to drop this to bury Battlefield, because and
So
they've done
far,
a great job. I haven't
Yeah.
working. I haven't heard
Everyone's
about
doing
Battlefield
it.
since.
But the one thing about like it was that map which I really like because you have 2 sniper spawns or a sniper and a rocket launcher spawn. But happened to be 2 snipers, but it wasn't the M47. It was what's that one? The
SX7.
or the SX sorry. Something 7.
I don't know
names
any of
and
these
numbers.
guns' names.
But what's the one that it looks
The plasma rifle.
No, it's like the big giant spike. It's the hit scan sniper. That looks
I know
like
what you're
a
talking
projectile.
about. Name-wise, we won't get it.
Yeah.
But everybody knows what you're talking about.
Oh, the splicer. Yeah, it was a splicer. It spawned up on the right side, and this dude was in a Humvee. So I was like, all right, I'm going to try something. I managed to have grapple. And so he like drives up, and one of the guys in the Humvee grabs the splicer, hops back in, and they start driving around, and they take the jump lift. And so what do? But I grapple onto the Humvee, grapple, punch the guy in the driver's seat. He dies. Then I fall off, grapple again, but this time I didn't grapple to the player. I grappled to his splicer. Pull up, punch him. The splicer goes in the air. I had 1 charge left of grapple. Grapple up onto the splicer, grab it. I'm still in mid fucking air.
I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck a splicer is.
Did you save the clip for this?
It should be in my replay.
I mean, I was gonna say we need a clip for. There's so much shit going on in this story that I'm like, where is where?
VODs. I'm gonna have to find it and
Wait,
see
it
if I
saves
can-
your.
Yeah, it saves all your VODs.
Oh wait, hold on. You guys are playing on PC.
Well,
I forgot.
what version? What did you download it through? Because
Steam.
really, I didn't know it automatically. Oh, the Forge. There's like a replay reviewer, huh?
Yeah.
right.
It saves all your replays. But yeah, then I grabbed the splicer, and then there were 2 guys duking it out over there, so I just shot it. Double. And then I fucking died because I fell into the pit. It was great.
I what's on my tracking further ahead with the SL rifle is pretty fucking spot on.
Mm.
But yeah, they've done a really good job at bringing back that Halo feel. It doesn't feel like, and that was my issue with Halo 5, is like, while it was fun and still good, it didn't feel like Halo. It didn't feel like me. And that's the thing. They're taking what's best about your feelings of nostalgia
Mm-hmm.
and instead just making it better and bringing you back to when it felt good to play Halo again, which I feel like when it comes to a game design standpoint, that's really all you should be going for, is making your players feel good. And that's the problem with the new Call of Duties, is that, and also this is another thing I'm noticing with Halo, is that if you're not coming in on Season 1, you're going to have a hard time with the new players are going to have a hard time with the learning curve of the game, because they're
I
going
already
against...
see it. I like. There's so many.
Yeah.
You can tell who has never played the Halo game in these lobbies,
And I feel
it's really
bad
weird to
because it's
see.
like you have the players who have been playing, who are diehard fans, or you have new players that just happen to be really good at shooters, who are streamers. You know, they're really good at other games, so they're just playing. They're just playing Halo just to be cool like the other kids, and they're like dunking on other people. And then you have the new players who are playing because it's free. They're not going to buy the Master Chief Collection. They're not going to buy the previous games.
I don't think you need to buy them in order to play this game. You can still
No,
learn
you
the
don't need to.
mechanics
But
of
they
it.
don't understand like what
They've
the
never
previous Halo players know.
experienced the multiplayer, the
So,
shooting mechanics.
new
The time to
players-
kill's different.
I really don't think it takes as
unload
long.
a full clip into their body, they're not going to die. Everybody's going to be like, well, this gun sucks. It's like, no, you just don't understand.
Feel like, I feel like people are going to catch on though. Like,
Yeah,
you know.
I hope, I think so, and I think that's
think
kinda,
so?
Yeah, I think that's what the magic of the game is that it's very accessible, so people can come in, learn, get better, and it'll filter out the people who just don't like it. Now with Call of Duty, however, Call of Duty as a franchise has historically been, if you haven't played the previous one and you don't know how it works, you're not gonna have a good time, and that is true. There are a lot of people who are like, I'm gonna get in Call of Duty, and they got Modern Warfare. but they didn't understand that you die like that.
Okay, well, that hasn't been true always. The thing you said about if you hadn't played the last one, you won't get to that's the recent issue, and that's what I don't like. I liked it back when they were rotating companies, where they did one company every 3 years instead of the same company the last 3 years. That's when you would be like, ooh, I'm going to get a fresh COD experience every year, and then I know I'll be ready to come back to the first one by the time I get around to year 3. And that was what made COD so successful. And then they started getting greedy, and Treyarch started saying, we'll take this year. Yeah, we'll take this year. How about we work together on this one so that we still have control, but we'll work mostly this year. Yeah, I know Sledgehammer failed every time they made a Call of Duty, so every other year they made a shit game. But like, I'd rather one shit game every 3 years than and then 2 good ones than the same game.
Well, and Warzone has been in my opinion, Warzone has been the best thing for Call of Duty because
in the most recent years,
it's the as far as Call of Duty multiplayer modern, it's the best modern multiplayer experience you can get.
Yeah,
Modern Warfare, Cold War, and now Vanguard have been absolute ass because they're the exact same thing. You're not getting anything new when you fire up Vanguard multiplayer as opposed to Modern Warfare multiplayer. So you've been playing the same game for the past 3 years under the guise that it's a new one because the name is different. And, maybe the weapon meta is a little different. So that's the thing. Like, I noticed our COD team here, I was talking to some of them, and they're like, well, we have to install Vanguard day one. And I'm like, oh, okay, is that because, like, you guys are excited to play? He's like, no. Just because all the tournaments and stuff are going to Vanguard. And I'm like, oh, so that means it's like, are they changing things up? It's like, no, it's just because of the name. And I'm like, so they could honestly be playing Cold War.
Yeah.
And get the same
this
experience.
goes into my next point. I feel like...
That's how I feel. We'll have to do the same with Overwatch 2. The only difference is they're going to call one of us, and we're going to have to kill one of our teammates.
You are trying a lot. You're taking these giants too serious.
We only need a firing squad, one of the team. We need to get rid of a tank, don't we? Isn't that how that's going?
God.
Oh, my God.
No, we need to get... I was going to say support, but no, we good.
Anyways.
But no, like, and here's the thing that I feel like that most people acknowledge, but they don't acknowledge it fully. And it has to do something with the player, with the fan base, though, too. With Call of Duty, I'll say this about Vanguard. It looks clean. It feels clean. Mm-hmm. And yes, this is it's repolished of 2019. Yeah. But I feel like there's a lot of stuff that they said that they tried in 2019, failed, and they're like, Cold War. I'm frustrated that like that game got made. I don't know why that game got made. None of us do. But with Vanguard, it seems like there's a lot more stuff in ways of like, hey, like we know this. Even like sometimes like with the developers, they know like this is the same game, but like, hey, like we're trying to make cool and stuff. At least there's some attempt where where I feel like what you just said right now is that we're changing it over and shit just because like of the name. Call of Duty players know what they get into every single year. Yeah. So I don't know, and like I don't consider us Call of Duty players, but like for people who are passionate about these games, you know exactly what you're getting into. That's like getting a gun, knowing fully well it's loaded, and then shooting yourself in the foot, and then being surprised.
Like Black Ops 3 so much. It's because it wasn't the same. I loved. Listen, I was an anti. Zombies was amazing. I was anti boots on the ground for. I was fighting I was on that other side of that war fighting for my life, and then Infinite Warfare dropped and I couldn't defend them anymore. But dude, Black Ops 3 was so good. It was the peak. Not only the peak of. I'm biased because it's the peak of my content creation. Mm-hmm. It was the best videos I ever made, but it was also like the most you could play the game and more shit would happen in that game than any other Call of Duty.
Black Ops 3 was, in my opinion, like one of the last times that I remember having fun playing Call of Duty because it was so weird. Like there's nothing quite matches that experience of playing Black Ops 3 for the first time. Now,
and their black market was good. Like I thought I didn't feel cheated by their loot boxes because you would get one every 6 games, and you played like 20 games a day back then.
Well, and it was just
COD
genuinely a cool looking game.
Black Ops
Also-
3 is
Hold
like
on. Did you guys know that fun little trivia about me? There's a video in my vault from my channel that was on. It was one of my popular videos. It was a crypto key glitch for Black Ops 3 for PlayStation 4, where I learned that if you changed the date on your PlayStation, you could do contracts from the days of that day that were just scheduled in the system.
Gotcha.
And so you could just complete contract after contract.
What's like the hardware?
Oh my god! You know the funniest part?
What?
I remember the day we all discovered that glitch. It was we sent message. Someone sent message in the group chat. They're like, "Yo, I changed the date on my PlayStation, and look, the contract refreshed. Hold on, let me see if I get the crypto keys." And they're like, "Holy, I got it!" And I was like, and then it was my old group chat, and a couple of us made videos. And 2 of us, were the ones who made it the most. And so one of us, I think it was him, immediately goes, "No one make a video about this." And so immediately, as soon as I saw that message, I immediately started making a video about it because I knew if I didn't do it, somebody else was gonna. Right,
true.
like, and I think that was that was what separated me from them. That was the difference in the mindsets. Is I thought if I don't do it, someone else will. And that video, sure as hell, that video did great back then. It was one of my best at the time, and I just think it was so hilarious because that was the era we were in. Yeah. It was just, you would look it up, you'd be like, how do I get more crypto keys so I can get these cool? Then they added guns to the black market, and that is when they ruined the game. But it's because they knew the game was dead already, and I think they do that with all their dead games. They just kind of give the guns out in the black market from now on, like all the new ones. Like you get some broken ass like M1 Grand and shit in the black market, and then it was over. But that's just how you put a game to rest.
Yeah.
I think Halo has the perfect formula in front of them. However, I'm cautious because of what they're doing right now, where they have the store page where all the good armor seems to be in the store. And the good thing about Halo's multiplayer that made me come back and keep playing every day was the unlock the armor by completing challenges or like, get headshots in free-for-all to get the Slayer mask with the skull on the front.
One thing I'm a little upset about is...
It's super grindy.
For $10, the Battle Pass is kind of ass.
Yeah, the Battle Pass sucks.
And luckily they're reevaluating it. Like, they just put out a message yesterday saying like they're collecting all the data and feedback and they're going to revamp it.
This is a good clip. Did you guys see the Dr. Disrespect Halo skin that's coming out for Halo Infinite?
Yeah, I saw that on my page. And
he tweeted it out. It looks really nice when you look at the details.
I really like the look of the armor. I would just only like want to like take away his like make it better like in my style and stuff like that. But I like the color scheme.
Well, to be fair, I like Dr. Disrespect as a person. I think his logo and his brand is great. So seeing that on like a Spartan though, what makes me really excited though is if they're making that for him, like we're gonna see some really nice
When's our
skins.
fucking Pokemon Halo skin, bro?
If she wants it, I'm sure it'd happen.
But no,
like Naruto's in Fortnite now, which is cool.
We're not talking about that. We're not talking.
We don't want to bring that up.
I don't want to talk about it.
I was streaming I was streaming on Tuesday, and I was sitting there. I was like, all right, what's happened in gaming news this week? And I'm like, oh,
Fortnite.
Naruto's in Fortnite, and that's all that was trending in gaming that day. And I was like, wow.
Carlos
nothing's happened.
Dumb question. He's like, "Are you going to play Fortnite now?" No, Carlos, I'm not playing Fortnite now just because they put Naruto in there.
Every single time something new comes out, I keep thinking to myself, I'm like, do I want to just download it where I think the thing with Fortnite now, what it's supposed to be, if you're going to play it as an adult, is it's supposed to just be a game where you play the stupidest shit imaginable. It's supposed to be you take all your toys. It's supposed to be what Smash Brothers is. You took all your toys and you pretend they're fighting each other now. Because where else is Rick Sanchez going to beat the shit out of Master Chief with Naruto Uzumaki? Like you're having a
really good analogy.
You're having a fever dream. You're just playing with your toys at this point.
Yeah.
Like, I no longer, which back in the day, when I was recording the game, I would treat it like we were fucking competing for the Contender Cup all the time, and I would play game battles and shit. You need to just jump in and play it for fun.
I fired it up like a few weeks ago just to see what.
And then when a kid tryhards, then you quit.
Well, I remember back when not when it first came out, but I remember 2018 when it's at the supposed golden age of Fortnite. I fired it up. So I was like, you know what?
Age of my channel.
I was like, you know what? I want to get the Thanos skin. I wonder if you can like grind that shit. I learned that that's not how it worked. But I played one game, didn't understand it because I just didn't get it, and so I left. That's the only time I had played Fortnite.
Really?
So I was like, you know what? I just want to see like how much the shop has changed, because I've seen pictures and stuff, but I still don't know half of what's in that shop.
Oh, it's huge now.
And
it went
so-
from 6 panels to like 30 panels.
I
Easy,
open it up,
easy.
and I'm like, dear God, I can literally buy a skin for whatever I want. I could buy a skin for fucking Alien or Terminator, and then at the same time do fucking Barbie or some shit. So
right?
like,
How is Barbie not in this game yet?
I don't. Probably next, bro. Every two times a month they're adding new shit to this game.
My question.
That's
question
why
is,
I
like,
want it. That's why I want to download it again so badly. But nobody will play with me. That's the problem. I won't do it alone. Well, somebody else needs to get the game so that we can just take the L. Like we.
Nope. Not
No
taking
pun
me up.
intended.
I'll steal
no, but
Taylor's
like,
credit card.
I
Grandma
will
can buy
not
our
subject.
Fortnite
I will not
skins.
subject
yeah,
myself.
if
to
we all
playing that game.
together ask Taylor for Fortnite skins, she'll give it to us. But if I do it alone,
Go ask your mom to sleep over, because if you ask,
Well, you know what's sad?
if you're there with me, she can't say no.
yep.
I
But
played.
then you get your ass kicked and shit
I
as soon as
played
she
a
says
game,
yes.
and I didn't build the entire game, and I fucking won.
Oh,
And it was easy. I was like, this shit.
Okay,
that sounds
that's
like
cap.
early game.
It sounds like a
How what season?
No, like just when I fired it up a couple weeks ago.
Are you sure? Is it a new account? They might use bots for a little bit, like PUBG did.
I mean, it's
Carl,
like
it's
level
not like I
7.
don't believe you, but like to win in that game without building is
There's always a sweat somewhere building.
Yeah, either it was bots or I got lucky. I don't know. The point is,
I mean, like there's how many
I
people
played a
are
game.
Unless you're playing on Switch.
I played a game.
Switch players.
and I won, and I was like, okay, it was all right. I didn't have fun, but I could see why people enjoy it, and I started thinking about it, and I got really sad because I'm like, I've seen people who are good at this game play it and be really successful at it, and I'm like, at its core, this could be a really good game. Fortnite could be one of the best competitive FPS games out there. The only problem is, obviously now there's such a skill gap because if you don't know how to build, then you're fucked. And
You only need to know
Yeah,
how to build in
that-
that game.
I was
now.
a pioneer in the building scene. Like I was learning those cover bridges, like where you build the stair with the wall under it. I was learning that shit early. I was drilling that shit, and then I developed the thing called being too old, and then my hands started to hurt after a while.
You mean age?
Yeah, but then like my brother, who was 2 years younger than me, I would go into his room and like he was deep into the game. Like he would play like Tfue scrims with that in that Discord with all of them. He was fucking insane. I'd watch the screen whip around with motion blur that you just couldn't fucking see, and then I'd be like, "What is he doing?" And the next thing I know, he won. I don't get it.
But-
he was so good. The only thing, he was too young, and I think that was the biggest issue. All of the good players in this game are all the kids who had so much time to dedicate to it, and that's why the like Buggo won and got his won his $3 million. Now he's a streamer. It's like he literally had the time, and he had the parents supportive enough to let him do that. I couldn't have done that shit.
And
I
that-
couldn't have dropped out of school to fucking play Fortnite.
And that's the thing.
I
I
asked.
don't understand, like, okay, so you have Fortnite, and then you have Apex. Those were two free-to-play Battle Royale FPS games. Only one managed to be memed to death because it attracted more of a childlike fan base.
It's also just fun to watch. I feel like Fortnite's more fun to the eye. Dude,
Yes, I do agree.
Maybe I'm
Fortnite
getting
is fun
old.
to watch.
Like maybe it's because I'm turning 20 and I'm starting to feel like you guys. But it's like looking at I need the high contrast colors.
Well,
I can't
Apex
look
is a
at the
really hard
mute
game
stuff.
to watch. I cannot watch someone play Apex. It's boring.
Really?
It's boring as shit.
I can't watch Fortnite. Fortnite's
It's the
boring
top
as
stream
fuck.
category.
Early
Really?
game Fortnite.
Oh, I can't stand watching Fortnite. It's not exciting.
I guess
me in the
nowadays
least.
I don't really watch Fortnite for fun.
I
So I'm
would-
not surprised.
I
but,
watch a
like,
buddy of mine stream. I like watching like Apex like plays and shit because you generally when like it's
I can watch clips of
When-
plays, but
well,
I
yeah,
can't
when
watch
Apex
rotations.
gets exciting,
and sit there.
Apex is good. But like the mid game of Apex, I just can't bring myself to watch someone stream that. And that's why I think Apex has gone downhill in the streaming scene, is because it got exciting for a bit because EA was just churning out fucking content. and then they kind of pump the brakes a little bit. And so now there's not too much for streamers to do. And that's the one thing about Overwatch. The reason it's still one of the highest streamed games is because those top streamers still loyally play that game. And each game is still relatively exciting to watch because they're short games, fast-paced, easy to see. It's fun to watch. Now, Fortnite, however, managed to attract a child fan base, and therefore it got made fun of. Which I think it's unfair. If a game is engineered more for kids, I don't think that should be enough to make fun of it. I think we shouldn't make fun of something just because it attracts a certain audience. If anything, that's a form of, like, in my opinion, like gatekeeping. Kind of like, you know, there's furry games out there, and if they want to enjoy them, then...
Why is it when I
Dishonored.
launch Steam and I go to the top new trending games, it's always some sort of furry game?
There's one on
It's
X.
always a sex game that's the top of
Yeah,
Steam's
what is
new
that
and trending.
shit?
Ever since Steam allowed just anything to go on Steam, there's...
Steam is like
to
the
be fair,
Wild West.
Steam is
in
full of people like that now. But it's like...
There's a
it's
bunch
just-
of fucking weirdos on Steam.
It's just sad.
Mm-hmm.
It just is, because it's like Halo Infinite is number 2, and then I think it's like furry
Doki
sex
Doki Club
18
at number
plus
3.
card something is number 1,
all
and
these
it's
fucking
not even a
lame-ass
good
card
game.
games.
Like it's like a clicker. Like you play the first 10 minutes and
clicker.
it's a tutorial, and then there's one
That's a good game.
and then there's
You
one
should-
level. There's one level and nothing else in the game.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I didn't actually play it, but the bit
No,
was
I
supposed to
will
be
say
that
this
you-
about
the bit
Steam.
was supposed to be that I
Steam
played
has
the
the
whole
most
thing.
boring looking fucking store in all of
Yeah.
like Xbox and like
Have you ever clicked big screen mode in
Yeah.
Steam? That's where the UI gets good.
Yeah.
But they don't force it on you. They don't force you to do it, but it looks so much better.
okay.
Although
I'll
I have to say, going through a Steam sale is pretty exciting.
Steam
when
sales
they have big titles on
Steam
sale.
sales are the best. It's like
got
it's also
Doom
my
for
worst.
$4,
dude, I
dude.
buy so much shit on sale on Steam. Have you guys done the how much is your account worth thing recently?
No,
Have
I
you
don't
ever
have.
done that?
I never heard of it.
You just paste your URL in there. It tells you based on your games how much your account is worth based
I
on
have
like
like 2 games.
based
Yeah, I
on
have
a
like
s-
4 games.
Oh, okay.
No,
Well,
not
as
4, I have
someone who
like
has
8.
like I have like 200 games in my Steam account. My account is worth like, I think it's $2,300.
Jesus.
See, that's what
And
I
it's the saddest thing ever.
no, I want that, but I want it for my Xbox. I want it to calculate all the games I have, including the ones I even have downloaded for free, to calculate all the
Fair.
costs. and
My
shit.
Epic Store.
even the Game Pass ones though. Too.
All the free games on Epic are great.
My Epic Store is probably my most valuable because when Car Fry 6 came out, they had the sale for all the previous games. So I got all of them when they were like on sale for like $4 or $5.
I bought 3, 4, and
Did
Did you buy the
5 on
DLC
sale.
for Far Cry 6?
I don't have 6 yet. 'Cause
I don't have
that
6
one was.
either.
I'll buy 6. If it's on sale for Black Friday, I might get it. But
It's Ubisoft, they will.
yeah, but I have basically 1 through 5 and Blood Dragon. I got them all for like between $2 and $5.
Speaking of Ubisoft, have you guys played For Honor?
Yeah,
Did you guys like it?
I like it for what it is. I think it's a super
I like
ambitious
For Honor.
project.
I think it's very well designed, and I think if they made a new one, I think it'd be great.
Yeah, I really like.
I don't think they need to make a new one.
It's just the only reason I want them to make a new one is because the old one doesn't have as big of a player base as it should, and it's
And I don't
because
think
it's
it-
just because of age.
yeah,
It's like it's like Titanfall.
Because when just
Titanfall.
when For Honor came out, it came at a really weird time where I think it at the same time like they were releasing Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Yeah,
It was around that time, and I think that's actually when the second Watch Dogs came though too. So it was Ubisoft in the singular year like released all those games, and then like For Honor just got like left by the wayside.
and it's like it's a good game. Like I'm playing the campaign right now, and it's really well made. The story's really good, and I love it's such a refreshing way to play a game.
Yes.
After shooting for so long, I've realized. Most
You
games
just wanna
I
stab
play,
a motherfucker.
Most games I play are shooters, and it's not by the fact that I enjoy shooters. It's just there's not that many good games in other categories.
Yep.
Like Psychonauts is the only other game I can think of that's been good in a different category.
Dude, I really tried to sit back down and like play Psychonauts the first one because I never played it.
The second one, just play the second one.
What's called even it's even harder to convince me now.
Were
since
you a
the first-
platformer player as a kid?
But I'm more of a fan of the PlayStation platform.
Because
They had their-
yeah. Well, is it not like Ratchet and Clank? Because I played Ratchet and Clank like to death, and that's why I loved. Also, I'm very glad that Ratchet and Clank is up for a Game Award this year.
I haven't played it, so I can't really say anything.
I haven't played it yet either.
But
Insomniac is my baby company. I love them to death. Insomniac is like my sweet affair that I love, and Ratchet and Clank is our sweet love child that I protect and hold dearly.
Is one of those. The one that they came out a few years ago, I felt was
the remaster.
Yeah,
or
that
like
was
the reboot.
That was incredible. Like that was.
It
just looked and felt good.
Looked
to play.
good.
Like
it's just playing the original and then having that so ingrained in that the original is my core memory. That is where I learned to play video games. Yeah, there is a home video on our old camcorder of me playing Ratchet and Clank, like that water level or like the water cave section of Novalis, the second world, whatever. And playing it back all the way through the game when they remastered it, it was such a shame to see how they butchered it to make it fit the movie plot line. And the movie was supposed to be, it was just a kid grab. Like it was to grab children, and I didn't like it. I wanted the old, partially vulgar, like innuendo filled Ratchet and Clank that we've always known, because that shit was great. And I hope Rift Apart's the same way, like back to form.
From what I've been seeing from people play it, it looks good. I think just
hello.
I just think like as a franchise, it's kind of been overshadowed by a lot of the other just PlayStation titles, and it's genuinely a good series, and I think people need to pay attention to it more. What was I gonna say about games? Oh yeah, we were talking about For Honor, and I've only played a little bit of it. I really like For Honor, and I hope they come out with 5 Honor sometime soon.
Fuck you. But here's the thing about the campaign. When you go with the multiplayer, everything that you're learning from the campaign, the basics, obviously keep those. As far as abilities, none of those guys in the campaign have those abilities in the multiplayer. None of it does not translate at all very well. So
it's like when you fight the boss versus unlock him as a playable character.
Yep.
But that being said, it still does a great job at teaching you for the multiplayer. The multiplayer still got enough people to play games. It's not enough that I would be happy with, you know.
And like the way that they did it, like they had the conquest mode for all the smaller people and stuff like that. There's just a lot of things that they were super ambiguous about, and I think that's what at the end of the day that's what For Honor was a super big ambiguous project that they can build off of that, but it's hard to balance a game like that though too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like it's different for shooters though, but this is like for fighting games, completely like different story and shit, and especially in one that's as versatile as this, because you have all the different ways of guarding, attacking, and defending and all that shit. On top of like all these, their hyper armor or whatever the fuck they're called and shit, and like insane amount of stuff that these guys can do.
Right, but okay. So I know I said earlier Ratchet and Clank got nominated for a Game Award.
Yep.
The Game Awards are coming up soon. I have the list of nominees here, and ladies and gentlemen, one thing I want to point out, besides the fact that there's a lot of categories, but there's a category for best VR/AR this year, which makes me very happy.
It was only a matter of time.
I'm so excited. I love VR to death. I just feel like no games came out this last year, and it made me really disappointed because I've invested like $3-4 grand into VR now.
It's a new technology, man. You gotta give them.
I know. But I want to be. If I'm standing on the bleeding edge, I want to have something in front of my foot to stand on. I don't want to fall off. I don't want them to leave me hanging. Like it's bullshit. But
they'll get to it.
I think Ratchet and Clank is in the Game of the Year section for the Game Awards, right? Are we ready to talk about this?
Yeah. I haven't seen.
Hey, hold on. Actually, we should. Yeah. We're good. Okay. The Game Awards.
Indeed.
So, I forget, how pretentious are these awards compared to others? Is this like
they're not very good, to be honest, but
it's like the AMAs, right? It's like the AMAs for gaming.
What the hell's the AMAs?
American Music Awards.
Kinda, yeah.
It's like the AMAs, not the Grammys,
Yeah.
I don't watch either of those, bro.
Music?
The award shows? Okay, hold up. I will tell you this. Most people in the music industry, Grammys don't fucking mean shit.
I know, but like you didn't watch.
Basically, the difference is the Grammys are like the prestigious ones. The American
I know
sports are like
I know what they are.
Nickelodeon.
I just
Okay,
don't watch
so,
them.
So
I don't
a,
like award shows.
A Tony, not an Oscar. A Tony's an award, right?
Yeah,
That's for Broadway though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So a Tony, not an Oscar.
Yeah, but no one would want it. No one who wants a Tony would want an Oscar.
Nobody gives a fuck about Broadway. Listen, the point is Broadway's a shit. Broadway's a shitter form of film. Like that's what I'm trying to say. It's like the Game Awards is like a weaker award
I
show.
disagree.
See, here's wait. I
Broadway's
feel
got-
like because of the year that we've had, there's not a lot of game titles that actually deserve. There's not very many game titles, in
Yeah.
my opinion, that actually deserve
I'm
to be
seeing
nominated.
Metroid Dread on here already, and the game came out like a month ago.
You know
Nintendo
what?
bought their way onto that platform. I guarantee you it.
I mean, Metroid.
No,
a
I'm
lot
shitting.
of people are
No, I'm
liking
shitting
it.
on it today. I'm shitting on it right now.
No,
That-
I can
I haven't
see this.
played it.
Listen, Metroid is a great series, I'm sure. It's just
It's
there's
long.
so many. It's like it just came out. It's not. It hasn't been out.
Where's
it's like,
Far
it's like,
Cry
It's like a
6?
baby being like nominated.
It's been
for
released
most
and
handsome
it's shit.
face.
The reviews are shit. It is
Really?
horrible.
Well, I don't trust reviews really. After the Doom IGN review, I will never trust a
Doom
review ever
IGN?
again. Have you ever watched that? You remember when IGN reviewed Doom, and then the video came out of a developer
I
playing
don't trust
and
IGN.
the reason they didn't like it is because they were so shit at the game.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. But like that's like in the time. Like here's the thing. With fuck, what game are we talking about again? I was so fucking heated about it, and now I fucking forgot about it.
Metroid Dread.
Metroid. From what I've been seeing, there's like the Nintendo looks like Metroid is in the same state that Sega is in with Sonic, and they just don't know what the fuck to do with Samus because it's been apparently this game has been like delayed a bunch of fucking times already, as well as like a bunch like it's just repetitive. It's the same thing over and over again. There's not a lot of there's almost no story to this game, and all the stuff that has been previously done to this game, like gameplay wise, has just been repeated. And it's a copy. If there's anything of a copy paste, this one seems like a shittier copy paste of like the old Metroid. He's like, oh look, it's 2D. Remember when it was 2D? Bell bottom jeans, Game Boy Advances.
It's been a while since they've had games. You
Then
know?
when did that-
and I think it's pretty good for their series, and I feel like I'm happy for them. They've been wanting a game, and they're gonna get, and they got a game. That's it. Doesn't have to be world changing, but they got
No,
one.
but like,
Anyways, there's a lot of categories, so I feel like we should start.
is there a lot of categories?
There is like I think over 20.
Oh, you're talking about like okay. I thought you meant like just the game of like the nominees.
Not
for
just for Game of the
Year.
Year. There's over 20 categories.
Why isn't Tony Hawk's Potato nominated for Game of the Year?
Tony Hawk Pro Skater? I don't think remasters count as available for awards.
Bullshit. It's
It
Tony
would
Hawk.
it would be like best remaster or like its own section.
Tony Hawk.
Either way, okay.
Tony Hawk. Where's Far Cry 6?
All right, it hasn't been out long enough.
They nominated Miles Morales when it wasn't even out.
Yeah, but that game was
to
actually
be
good
fair,
when it
COVID.
came out.
Okay, all right. The
No,
game.
Miles Morales wasn't even out, and it was nominated for like 3 awards. Anyway, sorry. I'm
the-
salty.
We're good. All right. The Game Awards has a lot of categories here. We're going to go through and we're going to try to debate on what we think should win each category. Do we want to make an account and just vote as a team here, or do we want so we can keep track of it?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, sure.
So I'll
That'd be
create the
cool.
account right now. You guys have to create some airspace by discussing something.
Can we
Okay,
get,
so-
worst game of the year.
Overwatch.
Marvel's Avengers.
Oh, I'm sad I put money into that.
That's such a sad game, bro. It could have been so good.
Yeah.
It could have been so good.
But I'm at least I'm glad that like more like whoever's like behind that game, they're like, okay, let's not ever fucking do this
Yeah.
again. So
It's all about Genshin Impact, bro.
shut the fuck up.
I think Genshin Impact would be a game I would love to get into. It's just I feel like I'm too far behind now.
See, for me, it's a little bit too.
Subnautica.
What? What's
Days Gone would have been good, honestly.
Wait, Days Gone.
Mm-hmm.
The zombie game.
The
I feel like that game like came out in the way that like
It
in
was
the
just
way
a
that a
bad
broken
time.
faucet comes out. Like it just kind of dribbled the water out right after all the hype buildup. Like I saw all the trailers over the last months before it was released, and then it released, and it just kind of came out, and nobody said anything.
Yeah, and then people started revisiting it, and they were like, "Oh, why aren't we getting a second game?" And then one of the developers like, "When you don't support a game title at launch, this is what happens. If anything, this is your fault." If all you no, like he like, and I was like, damn, he's got a point because
Yeah.
so many of these people will complain about it, like, oh, you're like, why are the developers making more stuff? It's because you didn't fucking support them at launch. It took you this much time to come
Right.
back to our product and
It's
shit.
It's Among Us is like a great example of that. Like
Yeah.
it took them 3-4 years to come back and save
I don't
them.
know if a Plague Tale is anywhere on here, but a Plague Tale was pretty good.
A Plague
Wait.
Tale Innocence.
Wait, Plague Tale that came out this year?
July.
Okay. I've got the account created, so we ready to go through this?
Let's do it.
All right. I would put it up on the screen, but I can't sit at the producer's seat and be in the podcast.
Ruh.
So, but
We're gonna wing it.
all right. For Game of the Year, the nominees: Deathloop, It Takes Two, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village. All right, how do we feel about
It
this?
Takes Two.
It Takes Two. I
Definitely.
could see it's the COVID cozy companion
It
game.
came,
Out
it
of
brought,
all of them,
it brought
Deathloop-
back.
I have
couch
yet
game-
to
like
play
co-op
it
couch
because
gaming.
my girlfriend keeps forgetting to bring her controller to my dorm. So we can't play through it properly. So I keep waiting on that. But I'm very excited, and from the little clips I've seen of it, it looks like an adorable game.
Yeah.
Deathloop and It Takes Two, in my opinion, are only two games on that list that have done something new. Well, Resident Evil 8, Resident
Ratchet
Evil...
and Clank looks amazing.
It does,
graphically.
but it's Ratchet and
you
Clank.
I've realized also my biggest issue. This reminded me, and I'm gonna keep this short and simple because I know we keep deviating from the topic. I realized recently when I played the Ratchet and Clank remaster on my old TV when I was back in when I had my old dorm. You saw my old dorm setup, the way it was like the TV up on the shelf and stuff like that. The old TV, you can't really see that TV well. And I used to complain about how shit the graphics were on my PlayStation 4 games. And then I realized that you kind of need to upgrade your monitor or screen to match the new graphics. Otherwise, the graphics won't magically come through the screen on an old TV. So then I finally played it on my 144 hertz monitor for the first time, and I was like, holy shit, the PlayStation 4 has good graphics. I never knew that.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
I was
don't even got a
sitting there playing.
PS4
I was
and I
sitting there
knew.
playing PS3 level graphics for the entire time.
Oh my
From
God.
even when Black Ops 3 was out, I was still playing on a TV like this. Like it was a shitty old TV. Like now I've got like an actual. I have it plugged into the monitor. I don't play PlayStation anymore. Like it's more of a glorified charging box now because I'm waiting for a PS5 to be available so I can buy the damn thing.
Yeah, we'll wait
But-
until the year 2023 for
Right.
that to happen.
But like either way, it's like. Man, the graphics look so much better. That's why I was thinking Ratchet and Clank looks amazing. Seeing those showcases
Yeah, but
looked
like
awesome.
the problem with Ratchet and Clank is that, Ratchet and Clank, along with any other super big franchise that's been around, that's like obviously has the credibility and stuff. I feel like they shouldn't I feel like just because it's a Ratchet and Clank title, it's like it's being included because.
Well, no, you have to remember,
it's,
no other Ratchet and Clank game has ever been like this popular. They're always flagship PlayStation games whenever a new PlayStation comes out, but the last time the PlayStation came out was the PS4 like 10 years ago. Yeah. And so it's like when Ratchet and Clank comes out, it earns its spot. And it hasn't been coming out that often recently. And the last one was a remaster. This is the first real game in the series that they've done in a while. So I feel like this one earned its spot. Whereas the other ones, kind of maybe got nominated sometimes for the sake of it. Any awards that the remaster won just for the sake of PlayStation.
Yeah, but with this, if we're being quite honest, most of these ones, I think it comes down to Deathloop and It Takes Two.
Yeah.
Well, yes. I think It Takes Two is going to win at this one
here's
from
the
us.
thing, like Resident Evil was great, but at the end of the day, it's Resident Evil, and like
Not this one. Not
well,
this one.
Okay.
I
It
mean,
has
like,
the gameplay.
Hold on. But
I swear, if you
Stop.
bring up the vampire boobs,
Mommy Monkey.
like if she was more prominent in the game, I feel like the game, like, may she rest in peace, I feel like the voice actress was around longer, or maybe they could have done something with her. I don't know if that was the plan
not
in the
dead.
process. The voice actress?
she's
She's
not
alive.
dead, dude.
Or the character model that was
Yeah.
based. May
The-
she
of
rest in
the-
peace.
Of one of the
Oh,
daughters.
yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like they could
I
have.
was like,
I feel
holy,
like
what
they-
did I miss?
I don't know
was
if they
gonna
posted
say,
on
like,
Instagram
I don't know.
yesterday.
I don't know if they had plans for the production to put more in with her, but I feel like if she was more prominent in the game, I know they couldn't have known that before they did the marketing, but maybe they should have done some research. I'm just saying. if she was more prominent, that game would have easily taken the cake if she was the main villain, but she wasn't.
Even
So-
I don't know. There's a lot of, to be honest, I feel like there's a lot more problems with Resident Evil Village than people are giving.
Well, I haven't. To be fair, I've never actually played any of the Resident Evil games, despite the fact that I talk
You've never
about them a
played
lot.
any of them?
I have. I know most of the plots, and I know the plot of Resident Evil. I have never played any of the games.
Okay, so
I want to stream 2, 3. I want to stream the remaster 2, then play the remaster 3, and I'm trying to work my way through it. It's just, and I'm definitely going to play 7 in VR. It's just, I haven't had the time.
Well, yeah, granted that, but like, it's a Resident Evil like game.
Mm-hmm.
It with a Dark Souls type. Like, it's super weird how they went about this game, and that's the only reason why I'm not super enthusiastic. I don't hate the game by all.
Fair enough.
If anything, I really like the characters and shit. I really like the way that they expanded upon, like, rather than like this super spooky house on a plantation shit. It's Resident Evil 7 Biohazard and shit. Rather than like, go back to it, which works and shit, and that was Biohazard, wonderful game, awesome. This one, it was too ambiguous for its own good.
Yeah. Right.
You
Okay.
know?
Yeah, Resident Evil Village, you can walk around with a fly swatter, smack Lady Dimitrescu on the ass. But that being said, It Takes Two takes the win for Game of the Year. All right. Next category. Best Game Direction. The nominees. Deathloop. It Takes Two. Returnal. Psychonauts 2. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Yeah, Deathloop.
A lot of familiar faces in
Deathloop.
this one. Deathloop is the only one that... have you guys played this game?
Yes.
I've watched people play it.
Okay, so you've played it, you've watched people play it. I know nothing about it, but I want to play it.
It's a Bethesda game to its core.
Dishonored was a game that I enjoyed. Is it like Dishonored? I've basically
the
assumed
mechanics
it's
are
just Dishonored with time
are
mechanics.
very similar. But the biggest thing about this game that's different,
It's new, it's unique, and that's what I like about it.
Yeah.
Returnal, though,
Which one is
is
Returnal?
phenomenal. The only thing is, it's a PS5 game that came out with the PS5. The only thing is, not enough people have gotten to play it because the PS5 isn't as accessible. I feel like if more people had played it, Returnal would win because it's a roguelike game but the biggest gripe people had with it was the fact that you couldn't save or pause mid-run because people were playing for 4 or 5 hours a run.
Yeah.
And then they would be like, oh shit, I got to go to work. Why can't I pause or why can't I save and come back? It apparently was so that good. I haven't personally gotten to play it yet because I haven't gotten my PS5. At this point, I think I'm waiting till the black ones come out so I can get one in honor of my old PS2 because my first PS2 was a black one.
Yeah.
But that's definitely a game I'm going to pick up because apparently it's really good. I didn't like it when the trailer came out, but apparently it's fucking amazing. And apparently it
I haven't seen
looks
the trailer
amazing.
for
But
that one.
in terms of new, that's what I like in Deathloop. I like that I loved the concept when I saw the trailer. I liked what they were doing. And immediately when I saw it, I liked the idea. So best game to Deathloop from the Morning Madness podcast. Next category for the Game Awards is Best Narrative, you guys. The nominees for this category are Deathloop, It Takes Two, Life is Strange, True Colors, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, and Psychonauts 2. Now, again, familiar faces in the third category, but
The Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy, from what I've been seeing, actually didn't flop the way I thought it would.
No,
It's really good.
it didn't do as bad as
Avengers
I
made
did.
me scared for it, but apparently it looks like it's got a great narrative.
It's a different development team, and it's entirely focused on its gameplay and story rather than what money they can make from the fucking story.
That is fair.
Avengers was a money grab, and everyone knew it from the start.
They actually are adding in Spider-Man now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's too late.
only on
It's
PS4.
fucking 4 years later, isn't it? Like the
And
game
it-
came out fucking.
And it's
Not 4 years,
it
but
came out March of last year.
It
It
that
feels
game.
like it.
Yeah, it feels like it came out forever ago.
But Spider-Man's coming out only on PS4,
Mhm.
which is bullshit.
Well,
that is
Sony
such
exclusivity. Nobody's happy about anything that happens with Spider-Man, but Sony is
Well,
down.
they're the ex that won't let go, or that fucking guy that brags about a girlfriend he had in high school or some shit.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a really weird move for me. That it's like this DLC is only available on PS4. Everyone else can go fuck themselves, even though most of their player base is on fucking PC anyways.
Yeah, well, it's a marketing
PC and
ploy,
Xbox.
and they're like, the game's dead anyway.
Yeah.
Let's just let's not
Let's
piss off the
piss them
fans that have been waiting, you know. But anyways, I will put a little spear in there. I haven't played the third Life is Strange game yet. I have played the first one, and the pre-sequel, or the prequel, which is Before the Storm. I haven't played 2 because I want to stream that. And for that reason, I haven't even looked at 3. I haven't even so much looked at what 3 is about. But I love Don't Nod. I think Life is Strange is one of the best narrative series that have come out recently. Yeah, especially the first game. I think, and when the remaster comes out, I'm going to have my girlfriend finish playing it because we're halfway through the first one. Yeah. And then we're going to play the pre-sequel as well. But it's just a great series, and I would not be surprised if they won Best Narrative. I don't know what this one's about. All I've heard is it has something to do with being an empath, which is like
yeah.
But the thing I do know is that this sequel confirms the proper ending and canonical ending to the first game, which is the selfish ending where you let the whole town get fucking destroyed, and that is the ending.
The good ending?
That is the ending I think made total sense. Fuck those people in that town. It made no sense to me. The people were like, "Oh, but we need to save these people." Fuck those people. All of them suck.
Yep. I really think for Best Narrative, this needs to. It needs to go to Takes Two. It needs to.
Oh, for narrative, really?
For the sole fact because
I don't know what it's about.
So it's basically two parents.
Don't spoil it for me.
What do you mean?
I'm gonna play it.
It's part of the story. You're gonna learn about it. It's kind of like there for.
Okay, well, don't spoil anything.
What do you? It's about a couple that gets that. Now you make me feel
go on a journey somewhere.
It's like it's a story about the corny love, all this stuff, like it's like a couple finding each reconnecting like their love life together and stuff on the verge of on a fucking divorce, it seems like. But it's like it takes the player and the person that's playing with them.
So the journey is about learning to work together again.
Yeah, exactly.
That is amazing.
And I think that because it's original. And I Deathloop doesn't have a super big narrative. There's not really much of a story. If anything, it's kind of like a roguelike shooter.
So it's between It Takes Two and Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Life is Strange.
Where are we going to tip on the coin here? Because It Takes Two, I feel like, has a great narrative. Guardians of the Galaxy, I don't know too much about it.
The only thing that I'd say Guardians of the Galaxy is that is 100% narrative based because you are playing only from Star-Lord's perspective and everyone else.
Is it so it's like a Telltale game for
kinda,
but like mixed in with?
No, I would say it's like Arkham.
I was gonna say Arkham Telltale.
It's an Arkham style game. That's what I would say.
Yeah, as in yeah.
Okay.
And the one thing that's fascinating about it is that it's very much player based because there are like 18 different endings for that game, depending on what the choices you make.
Got you. So you two are arguing on this one. Where are we going with this?
I really think It Takes Two.
And I think Guardians of the Galaxy.
All right. Well, you guys got to get this going.
You be the tiebreaker.
I've not played either of these games.
That's okay. Just
okay. No. That's a fair point, but Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, everybody has a huge enough fan base that's going to support it anyway. It Takes Two had to build it from the ground up.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, I'll say
I'll go with TJ.
What I don't like about Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, and it's the only thing that it's the normie thing that every basic bitch has the problem with. Even though I've read the comics and I know that you can look different in different things. It bothers me that while they have the use of the likenesses for the MCU characters, that they wouldn't use their likenesses. I get it. I understand why, and I understand why you don't want to do it. It's just, it's jarring. It's uncanny valley almost when I stare at Star-Lord's face and I'm like, this isn't Chris Pratt. That being said, God forbid another Chris Pratt thing show up in my face anytime soon.
Chris Pratt to voice Star-Lord.
But
hey, homeboy's making bank. I like the dude. Let's go. Hollywood, keep hiring him.
But still, it's just it's like the Captain America in Avengers seeing the fat Captain America in comparison to the Steve Rogers we know from the MCU. Yeah. It's just weird. I get it.
That was my problem with Avengers. But yeah,
I'm
It Takes Two.
So It Takes Two takes Best Narrative from us. I will say, though, yeah, I get it. I understand. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm going to try it. I'll probably play it at some point. I'm excited. Anyways, for the Game Awards, the Best Art Direction category this is one that I might be more inclined to speak on.
We got to go faster on these two.
The,
It's like 80.
The Artful Escape, Deathloop, Kena, Bridge of Spirits, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart. All right, what are we thinking? So does anybody know what the Artful Escape is?
Nope.
I knew nothing about it. That means, huh?
Let me see like the cover art. Oh yeah, I've seen. Actually, I'm really interested in playing that game. I'm actually
What is it about?
It's more of from what I've like read in like the brief description that's provided on Xbox. It's like this really. It's like a music based game. It's kind of just seems like one of those games, like a rhythm beat game, but it has like a narrative drawn to it.
Oh, okay. So it looks like it's like a little like a side-scrolling walker, and you need to play music to do the puzzles. Okay,
yeah,
I see that. That looks pretty cute.
Yeah,
I don't think it's gonna win any awards in comparison to these other games.
Yeah,
because I get what they're going for, and art direction's a good place for it to be. I think being nominated is great because it doesn't look like a studio I recognize.
Oh no, it's a small indie. It's
Beethoven and Dinosaur or Annapurna.
Yeah.
But that being said, everything that's being nominated, there's not much to choose from, really. I think Kena Bridge of Spirits is the only one with a cute, like, different art style that looks, like, visually appealing to me. But I like the non-realism art style, so Deathloop wasn't going to get it from me. But, like, Kena, from the trailer I've seen and from the stuff they've shown me, it looks nice, and it looks like they have a great, like, set style. I like stylized stuff. Ratchet and Clank has been established. They knew what they were going for. It almost feels like the blueprint was already there.
Yeah. So there's not
Psychonauts 2, it's a remaster of their older graphic style. I see it. I don't think it looks great. I think they could have remastered their graphic style even better. I don't know if they're going for that style, but
it's hard when you have a game style like that and stuff and trying to make something that's like that because there's only so much.
It's supposed to be gritty, I guess, but it's like
it's just like when it comes to like art styles and like in the programs and stuff, there's only so much you could touch up on those types of characters at the end, the way that they're animated, though,
right?
Too.
But
so it's very limiting.
Either way, out of all these options, there's not much to choose from. Kena, Bridge of Spirits, I think should get it. We agreeing on that?
I think
there's not much.
There's not much.
Really.
There's not much to
Kena, Bridge of Spirits gets the vote for best art direction from the Morning Madness podcast.
Now this next category, this is
here we
my
go.
Category.
For the Game Awards, best score and music. Here are the nominees: The Artful Escape, Cyberpunk 2077, Deathloop, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, and Nier Replicant, version 1.22474487139. Is that actually the game title?
Yes,
that
is the name.
And the Game Award for Best Score and Music goes to Doom. It's Doom, baby. It's always Doom every year. No, it's Cyberpunk.
You think Cyberpunk gets best score?
I think Cyberpunk.
I think Nier Replicant.
I
haven't heard Nier Replicant.
Here's my problem.
See, hold on. You guys,
guys, here's my
play
problem.
these games, man.
Nier Replicant is a game I want to play as well.
It's a wonderful game.
I re-downloaded Cyberpunk recently in an attempt to try to force myself to play through the campaign. I played the Delamain car mission. I couldn't finish it. It's so egregiously boring. It is so fucking boring, and the world is so empty. Oh my god, I can't play it. I'm never gonna finish it.
Unfortunate, but the music is incredible. I mean, the music for and this is one thing that when you think about music in games is something not a lot of people really put a lot of thought in until something like Doom came around. People were like, this is the best metal soundtrack with a game attached to it. Okay.
Dynamic audio.
Right.
Important. Doom made that shit cool. Any game that makes the music louder when you're doing cooler shit is the right way to program the game.
And that's the thing. That's why I don't think Guardians of the Galaxy should get it, because Guardians is built around a soundtrack of popular music.
Yeah.
Didn't they make a whole soundtrack just for the game though?
Yeah.
Like of original music?
They did, yeah. But then they use actual popular music that it's actually really cool, because when you go into the battle mode, when you go into the fight, you have different songs that you choose that give your team different buffs.
Oh, that's pretty sick.
It's really fucking cool, and it makes every fight really cool, because now you're just jamming out to some really cool music. But the original score, it was good, but it didn't affect the game that much. Cyberpunk, the score is something that drives each mission forward in a way that I really didn't expect. I thought it was going to be just
Blade Runner-esque score.
Yeah, but it's not just like, oh, you're going to have cool sounding music because it's Cyberpunk. It's like, no, each the music changes based on your rhythm of gunfire. The music changes based on how fast you're moving in the mission. It slows down.
Could have fucking fooled us.
I wouldn't know that. That's
It's
crazy.
really cool.
I wouldn't know that because as soon as I get into a gunfight, I take 2 shots to the head and I die. So it's like the game
Can't
is
even get
so
into the game.
shittily optimized.
Yeah.
It makes me angry. But if you want to give it to them, I'm willing to give it to them because it's our opinion.
I'm not.
Are we gonna
But if you want to go to
not
Near
willing.
Replicant, I trust TJ on that.
I'm willing to give it to Near Replicant. See, Near Replicant, this is a remaster of the old game, right?
I didn't know there was a previously.
Yes, so before Nier Automata came out, which is where most fans came from, there was a game on the PS2 or PS3, I think it was PS2, called Nier Replicant, the original, which was this game, but older graphics.
So if they're nominating remasters, where's Tony Hawk?
The only thing is though, this game is technically a reboot almost.
okay.
So it's like it's Nier Automata was like sequel. This is like a prequel to that, right? Because the original game was great. And it has a cult fan base, but they needed this one to get people to understand the original story.
Yes, and dude,
I've heard Nier Automata's score, and I'm saying
so
it both
good.
ways just so I don't piss people off. But I'm willing to give it to Replicant because I know they have some great composers.
dude, what's called? This is like Carlos. When I say that, like these guys, this composer, this dude could rival like Hans Zimmer's work when he came to.
Yeah,
Call of Duty.
I don't doubt you. I mean, that's I've heard great things.
It
about
is.
that
It is
franchise.
surrounded. It's surrounded by a soundtrack, but it's a soundtrack that's completely like.
It's like cinematic.
Yeah,
in a sense,
cinematic almost. There's
Okay.
you know.
And
where
that's
I
something
feel
a
like,
lot of games don't really have too much of.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, for best score in music, Nier Replicant gets the vote from Morning Madness
There's
Podcast.
a lot of these categories.
Yep, we're going to try to get a little faster. Let's try not to debate too hard on some of these. Best audio design for Game Awards. The nominees are Deathloop, Forza Horizon 5, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, Resident Evil Village, Returnal.
Resident Evil.
How do we feel?
Resident
Now
Evil.
you're wrong, and let me tell you fucking why. Have you guys seen Forza Horizon 5's audio design?
No
Yes.
one gives a
Okay.
fuck about these stupid ass car
Listen,
racing
okay,
games.
No, listen. I understand where you're coming from, and I thought the same thing. But in this game, if you drive off the road a little bit, and it's a multiplayer open world between missions, right? But if you drive a little bit away from the road, and you're just far enough, and some guy with like one of those shitty racer engines goes by, and you hear it far away, the dissipation and like the Doppler effect is present in the game. Like the engine sounds far away. You hear like the and as it passes you, that shit is insane. I'm not even a car guy. Like I don't like cars, right? But I guess maybe I'm a little biased because I have a racing wheel. So recently I've been into car racing games more. But I haven't even played the game that much. But the fucking audio in that, its spatial audio is
The
phenomenal.
only thing I say about that is that they've been doing that since Horizon 3. So
but it's never been this good.
Yeah, but that's not. It's a car sound. Here's the thing.
well,
with me.
okay.
You go first. You go first.
When it comes to sound design is really tricky because there's something to be said, and this is something that traces back to Overwatch. Overwatch was one of the first modern games to use Dolby Atmos in a multiplayer live setting. They were doing it in Call of Duty, and they were doing it in, I think it was Halo 5. But Overwatch was one of the first games that utilized each character's like specific sounds to not only give a competitive advantage, but build a world. And I think Overwatch has incredible sound design. That's something that I will always love about that game is the sound design, how every character sounds unique. It's really fucking hard. And so there's one thing I agree with Victory about Forza is that if there's one thing that Forza's done right is Forza's become more or less a racing simulator as opposed to a competitive racing game. And if you want if you're a car geek and you want to play a game that gives you the feeling of driving a race car,
You play Assetto Corsa Competizione. But if you don't want to spend money on a racing wheel and shit, then Forza, I guess.
Forza is the way to go. And it's no doubt that they put every ounce of effort to make it as realistic as possible. And that's why Horizon 3, in my opinion, is the best racing game of modern times. I'll always love the old Need for Speed.
Gran Turismo 4.
Midnight Club, bitches. Fuck y'all.
Burnout City.
Okay, we need to get through these categories quicker.
Anyways,
so
Let's go. Yeah,
Resident
but just
you
yeah,
think you guys think Resident Evil?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
I
100%.
haven't.
I always like giving it to
Now,
the horror
are
games.
you incorporating music into this opinion? Because I want to tell you right now, that's not what this is about.
No. Like it was like there's something about when like with
The
Resident
only sound in this game I know of is the sound of the fly swatter slapping the skin.
I bet you do. I bet
I
you
did-
do.
But each level, that's one thing, and this is another thing why I'm surprised Cyberpunk isn't here, because Cyberpunk, I would have given it to that. Like,
Yeah, I'm surprised it's not in. I'm surprised it's not in this category, but
Okay.
it's surprising the last one. I don't.
Alright.
I think they should have it switched.
All right,
But
fine.
Resident
I'll
Evil.
give it up.
yeah.
For best audio design, Resident Evil Village wins the vote from the Morning Madness
And
podcast.
Victory, Christ.
It's fine. I'm not super dying. Best performance for the Game Awards.
I don't know any of these people.
The nominees.
You don't
are-
know You don't know fucking Gustavo Fring.
All right.
Yeah. Besides
Yeah.
that one,
For the Game Awards, best performance. Here are the nominees: Erica Mori as Alex Chen in Life is Strange: True Colors. Juan Carlo Esposito as Anton Castillo in Far Cry 6. Did I say that right?
Young Carlo.
Thank God. Oh, Giancarlo, gotcha. Jason Kelly as Colt Vaughn in Deathloop. Maggie Robertson as Lady Dimitrescu in Resident Evil Village. Azioma Akaga as Juliana Blake in Deathloop.
Lady D.
So I think Lady Dimitrescu
Lady
is
D.
getting that one, right? Like
It's Lady D.
No,
Like,
it's no.
I would give it to
there's
Giancarlo
I feel like you
Esposito.
just fuckers are just doing it for the
Giancarlo
fucking
No,
Esposito-
she's
Giancarlo
genuinely-
Giancarlo
Esposito
was
has
a
done
fucking
great
god
job.
in this
He's
fucking
done
Far
a
Cry
great
6
job.
movie.
However,
He was so much better than her.
However, right? He is like that normally in real life. Like
That's the one thing I'm gonna say is that Giancarlo Esposito in Far Cry is literally
He's
Gustavo
just playing
Fring.
himself. He's just playing what he imagined he was when he grew up. Like he's just playing the character who has always been in his head when he was riding the bus as a kid in high school. Like this is what he was imagining
Maggie
himself
Robertson
doing.
has a voice actress. I mean, she's gone from like My Little Pony to Cars Tunes.
Who did she voice in My Little Pony?
I don't know, a side character, but she was on an Instagram Live and she was like going through her roles and stuff. And then she does Lady D, like, and she did all the motion capture work for it.
That she did the motion
It's-
capture?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a whole nother level.
It's what's up? Juan Carlo did the fucking thing for.
He looks like that. That's just him.
He was in the motion capture suit.
Yes,
Anyway,
but you can motion cap playing yourself much easier than you can playing a 7-foot tall
Here's
woman.
okay, hold on.
You
I
have to
feel like-
walk completely different when you're bigger.
I feel like it's hard for me to, and to be honest, I'm not mad at Maggie Robinson's performance. Again, I think she's good. I just think that for me, I'm wanting to go with
You just
like,
don't like pale, tall women. That's what it is, isn't it?
oh, love me some tall British women.
Oh my
Anyway,
God.
Is she British?
I was never mind.
Is that a specific fetish that you
No.
have?
We're
Is it
not
the
getting-
accent
nope,
specifically?
Kinda. I just
Is it the fact that they wrap you in a British flag like bondage and go
Okay,
go
moving
say
on.
you're sorry
Yeah,
for the
no,
revolution,
moving
little American
on.
pig?
Moving on.
Yeah, not.
Anyways,
I just think like Juan Carlos.
it's
before-
it's 2 against 1 here, kind. You know,
You can go ahead and vote for it. I just think it's not what's called her performance isn't because of like her length in Resident Evil isn't that longer. I think that because of Far Cry 6, they fleshed out Juan Carlos' performance a lot more, and his interactions with each and every single character felt unique.
fair.
I
would
agree, I
argue
agree.
they had time to do it, and he's an actor already, whereas Maggie Robertson's a voice actor
Yeah.
specifically. Whereas you can. Giancarlo has been characters before for a long period of time where he's gotten into the mindset. So he's already at the advantage. We've seen him do this work in a way before. Maggie Robertson is becoming a character and performing in voice only, which is almost sometimes harder to get into the mindset of.
That's
Voice
one-
acting
this
is
is
like,
the one thing I'm going to say. I agree. Giancarlo Esposito is incredible. If she wasn't in the category, I would vote for him.
Yeah.
The only the only thing that I have that I think Maggie has the kind of advantage here is that, okay, jokes aside, look at how much impact her and her character had on this game. People
People
aside,
bought this game.
people bought this
before
game
her.
for this. That was their main marketing.
Yeah.
She carried that game, essentially, on the forefront. And while she's not in it for the longest period of time, she's the one part of that game that people still talk about.
Yeah,
and I think,
but I feel like it loses legitimacy after the whole thing. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get through this whole entire list.
All right. Well, arguments aside, best performance for this category goes to Maggie Robertson from the Morning Madness podcast. We're going to get through this. Let's skip this category. Nobody gives a fuck about games for impact. I'm sorry.
Wait, hold on, which
Best
one?
ongoing category for the Game Awards. The nominees are Apex Legends, Final Fantasy XIV Online, Fortnite, Genshin Impact,
Apex.
Call of Duty Warzone.
yeah, Apex.
You gotta let me finish the nominees, you guys.
Apex. No, you don't even need to
But,
say
guys,
Call of Duty.
I will argue Apex is up there, but we did just have like a 30-minute argument about Fortnite.
Stop. No, Apex.
But so we didn't like it.
Apex.
Okay.
You're joking.
All right.
Apex.
Fine.
Apex has
gets the
been churning
vote.
out actual good content,
Apex
not
gets
just
the
skins.
vote from us here at the Morning Madness podcast. Best indie game.
I don't know these games.
Really?
Yeah,
I know all of them.
Then you vote.
Yeah, dog,
Yeah,
you were
really
gonna-
quick. I'll give it to 12 minutes. That was the only one I streamed and enjoyed really well. Inscription is really cool, though, and I think you guys should play it.
Dude, there's so many. of these
Also,
games.
if you guys haven't played 12 minutes, you guys should check out my playthrough on my channel. It's pretty concise. I won't lie. It's quicker for me than most.
there's
people.
not a lot of these games that I'm like super familiar with.
Best
That's,
mobile game with the Game Awards. Do we care? Do we care?
Hey, I'm just gonna
Genshin
say
Impact.
no. Wild Rift.
Wild Rift.
Wild
I
Rift.
have both Genshin and Wild Rift on my phone.
Wild Rift
Wait,
is
Genshin's
incredible.
on your can be on your phone?
Yeah.
It's
I mean, I'm not,
cross-platform with
I'm
phone
not
and
downloading
console.
it, but
I would. Okay.
Rift. What's called Rift? I'm actually considering downloading.
Wild Rift.
Pokemon Unite.
Pokemon.
Okay.
No, not
Wild
Pokemon
Rift.
Unite, because that's just full of people that are just trashing on.
Pokemon is making.
families.
Pokemon right now is solely making money off of its name. They do.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck about their franchises.
I
much
will
anymore.
say, just as a quick side note, don't disregard Future Revolution. Marvel Future Revolution.
It has great marketing. I've
It's
seen.
it's actually a lot of fun.
Is it good?
It takes up too much space on your phone, but it's really fun, and it's
As soon as
it has
too much space. Yeah, sorry, dog. No.
Yeah, no, it's like it's a fucking huge game. But Wild Rift was the best release of the year.
Gotcha.
For
I was
mobile.
gonna say like that's the one.
Wild Rift gets the vote from the Morning Madness podcast.
Ruh-roh.
All right. Best community support. Apex Legends. Destiny 2. Final Fantasy XIV Online. Fortnite. No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky community support. I would argue we stuck by this
Yeah.
this developer for so long, and they finally delivered.
Who's we?
I did.
I did not.
No, a lot of people.
But like I will.
we held out.
Yeah, what's like the community like held this game together. Like y'all motherfuckers will not let this drown.
They believed, and now this game is one of the best of its kind.
Yep.
And the VR really helps. This game is phenomenal in VR. I think even on PlayStation VR, it's great. If you it's really actually well optimized for PSVR. But if you have like a regular VR headset or you're thinking about getting VR, that's one game I would recommend. I haven't purchased it on Steam yet, but I really loved it.
All right, this is a good category.
Yep.
Innovation and accessibility.
What? I thought
For
that
the
was-
Game Awards, innovation in accessibility. The nominees are Far Cry 6, Forza Horizon 5, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart, The Veil, Shadow of the Crown.
Far Cry. It's
I
What are
don't.
we thinking?
I don't. This is a really terrible list for this one.
really.
Yep, from top to bottom, because
Okay, I don't pay attention to accessibility in games because I am of the privilege of not having to worry about those things. Besides like colorblind options, I'll put those on occasion, but that's just me being an asshole.
Yeah.
So it's like, is there anything
these games
that you guys
are
know
pushing
about these?
like these games aren't pushing anything like hardware wise anything. Like if you look at Far Cry 6, there's still a bunch of fucking problems that they have from fucking 3 games ago
Right,
that they have like consistently and shit.
I think the one thing that
the
we're talking about
is like button remapping.
Well,
and,
not
like,
only that, and take like accessibility. That
narrator.
Cyberpunk was a nightmare for that because
Yeah.
unless you had the newest fucking NVIDIA cards, you weren't going to be able to play it. So you had to churn out over $600 to play that game.
Quick question.
Whereas
When
Far
we're-
Cry 6, I could run it on ultra settings.
Okay,
on
hold
my
on. When we're
trash
saying
PC.
accessibility, are we talking about like using it on bad computers? Or are we talking about like disabled gamers?
it's I think
playing
it's
the game?
both aspects of like everyone being
the way
able
that-
to play it, as well as while you're in game, the ability to enjoy it for everyone.
So this is how they're wording it. Recognizing software and/or hardware that is pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by an even wider audience. The only one I can
Okay,
really
so it
see...
sounds to me like it's like colorblind options, audio enhancement for deaf or hard of hearing.
If anything, Forza needs to take this.
Yeah, that's true.
Is that the only one? That's the only one I feel like really has like the
Yep.
remapping. There's no real games that have done much accessibility work,
Out
to
of-
my knowledge.
Like, if there's a checklist for this, Forza 5
Yeah.
All right.
completes everything.
Innovation and accessibility. Forza Horizon 5 gets the vote.
This is
For
your
best
category,
VR/AR. Now, this is my personal category as someone who's on the bleeding edge of VR. I love VR to death, and I'm super excited for where the company's going to go.
Dog, you're probably the only one who played any of these games.
The nominees are as follows: Hitman 3, I Expect You to Die 2, Lone Echo 2, Resident Evil 4, Sniper Elite VR. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something about this. Here's a little peek behind the curtain. Resident Evil 4 hasn't been on VR nearly long enough to get the vote. However, it's a great VR game. Sniper Elite VR sucks as a port. It's a terrible VR port. I think Hitman 3 also sucks as a VR port. I think it's between Lone Echo 2 and Resident Evil 4, and I'm going to default to Lone Echo 2 because Lone Echo is one of the best VR experiences, story-based, ever. It is two of the greatest VR stories available right now. I think as soon as you get a Quest 2, I think you might need to. I think you might need a PC for it, but just plug it into your PC. Both of you have computers. Lone Echo is the vote for this one.
Understandable.
I really think you guys should invest in VR. It'd be a great time, and I need people to play it with.
I'm good.
Best action game for the Game Awards. The nominees are as follows: Back for Blood, Chivalry 2, Deathloop, Far Cry 6, Returnal.
Deathloop. As far as action goes, Deathloop. And that's why I'm upset Far Cry 6 isn't in Game of the Year. Because I think narrative-wise, Far Cry 6 has the edge.
Yeah.
But Deathloop has the action edge. Like, it's just so cool.
I mean, so do you know about their feature in this? It's a real-time sense. So you can essentially complete this game in a single day. But how it's spread out is that every single time you die, it comes in with like the souls like aspect and stuff, and so you
the
can
game
get
gets longer.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
But then like as soon as you you can
No
kill
wonder it
certain...
only took me 10 seconds to finish the game.
Wait, you never put Deathloop?
Best action adventure game for the Game Awards.
Yeah,
The
Deathloop.
nominees are as follows: Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Resident Evil Village.
Why is
So did
Resident Evil
no
here?
games just come out this year? Is that what I'm understanding? Did only 7 games come out?
Like gaming goes through this weird phase every 10 years where we just have every 10 years we just have a drought for 10
Fun
years.
fact, Overwatch won Game of the Year over Doom and Uncharted 4.
Get fucked.
Which I have to say, I was really happy that Overwatch. I mean, because I loved Overwatch. But Uncharted 4 is one of the most incredible games ever created. And you're like, okay, Overwatch is great. It revolutionized esports. But what the fuck?
Jeff Kaplan has something to do with that.
Anyways,
I guarantee you.
best action adventure, Guardians of the Galaxy. Because I don't know why Resident Evil's
I'm so
here.
tired of voting
Why the
for
fuck?
the same game.
Why the fuck is Resident Evil
Hold up.
here? It's
There's
a horror
There's
game.
nothing to debate. There's nothing. We've already said
Hey,
everything
horror
about
could be an
these
action
games.
adventure. That's what these.
We
that's
true.
we have already talked about these games ad nauseum already. Like we've burnt them out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Finally, fuck. Best role playing game for the Game Awards. The nominees are Cyberpunk 20. Best role playing game for the Game Awards. The nominees are Cyberpunk 2077, Monster Hunter Rise, Scarlet Nexus, Shin Megami Tensei 5, Tales of Arise.
Scarlet
All right,
Nexus.
Scarlet Nexus.
See, Tales of Arise is really good. I'll give it to
Scarlet.
Scarlet
I haven't
Nexus.
played it,
I haven't played Scarlet Nexus
Amazing.
yet. I know you were raving about it.
So good.
What is it
So
again?
good. It's an anime-esque style, but the combat in there is so
It's an
fucking
RPG? MMO?
Yeah. No, RPG.
RPG. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's just the combat in there. It's so satisfying.
Guys, I think Cyberpunk should win this category. I couldn't.
No.
It makes me vomit trying to. I will
Best
go back
RPG
and try to
ammo,
play it again in
Cyberpunk
6 months, and I'll do the
2077.
same thing over and over again. But Scarlet Nexus gets the vote from us here at the Morning Madness podcast.
Best
Do
fighting.
we care
game.
about best fighting game, really?
Yes,
There's no
actually.
Smash Brothers on here. Nickelodeon
We
All-Star
don't need
Brawl is
to.
going to win.
We don't need to
Guilty
read.
Gear Strive. Yeah, we
Yeah,
don't need
Guilty Gear.
Guilty Gear Strive.
But Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, you guys.
It hasn't been out long enough, in my opinion.
To be quite honest,
Guilty
it
Gear
needs
Strive.
it needs to be out longer. We just need to see. Best family game.
Best family game from the Game Awards. The
I-
nominees are It Takes Two, Mario Party Superstars, New Pokemon Snap, Super Mario 3D World, Bowser's Fury, WarioWare, Get It Together. All right, well, these are all Nintendo games plus It Takes Two. It Takes Two is not a family game. It's a couples game. I don't think it's a family game. There's only 2 players. I think a family game is 3+.
It's redefining the definition of family.
What family? You and you as a single father and your kid that your wife didn't want? Like
No,
that's
it's me-
it.
it's
You
me
can't
and
play
Dominic
with you can't play
Toretto.
with a family.
Yeah, you can, bro.
There's
okay.
2 players. What family is 2 people?
You can play with any family member, dog.
Okay, but I would argue a better family game is one that the whole family can play together, like Mario Party Superstars.
I mean, it's
But
limiting.
Mario always wins.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's a family game.
Fuck
of course
Chris
Mario's
Pratt,
gonna win.
bro.
Hold on, that is not Chris Pratt. That is not my Mario.
Not
Guess
my
what? Well, it's
Roderick.
mine. I'm
Yeah,
upset.
It Takes Two.
It Takes Two.
And
Yeah.
as far as
I don't care about
I'll
sim
give
and
it to
strategy. Fuck no.
No.
Stop. Day TJ's category best racing.
What do you
hate you.
best sports/racing game?
Hot
The-
Wheels.
Yep.
Guys, we'll never get TikToks out of these ones. Why do you guys always jump the gun on the good ones?
We're
That
trying to
was
make
funny.
TikToks.
Why you? Well, every time when I start the category, it's so I can cut a clip. If there's
You
good
have
games,
to tell us. We cannot read your mind.
Every part of
I'm
this show is clips. If each category is its own separate clip. If you guys wait until I read the category on the good ones, then we can upload them, but they never go up
I
because
feel
we
like
always
you're
jump
the
the
only.
gun.
You're the only one that knows that. And
just always assume we're trying to get clips out of what we say.
oh, it's hilarious. Okay, what's going? I'm in the loop now. I'm in the loop. I was just wondering. You're like, wait. Okay, go for it.
Best sports/racing game for the Game Awards. The nominees are as follows: F1 2021, FIFA 22, Forza Horizon 5, Hot Wheels Unleashed, Riders Republic. Now, it is between Riders Republic and Hot Wheels Unleashed. That Hot Wheels looks fucking
Hot Wheels
beautiful.
is so cool.
But Riders Republic.
Riders Republic also looks great, and they have the only benefit they have is that they gave me a free weekend to try and play it, and I played the game, and it actually was kind of fun.
Yeah. It's
Otherwise, I wouldn't have played it.
it's kind of like Steve, but better.
It's all the, and to be fair though, I am biased because literally like you start the game in the tutorial in Bryce Canyon.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And like it looks exactly like Bryce Canyon.
That's
and
sick.
like
I didn't know about
we
that
could
game.
literally drive up there, taking a picture, and it'd look exactly like the place in Riders
All
Republic.
right, Riders Republic it is.
Riders
I would be
Republic.
so down to give it to Riders Republic, even though Hot Wheels is great, and the ability to jump the track is one of the best things you've ever been able to do in a racing game.
They're
ever.
let's go. Those guys, I feel like they're gonna be pumping out more content, and it's only gonna get better.
I would
from
really
here.
appreciate if we all got games that we could play together because it'd be cool to play games like Hot Wheels. All right.
I don't know if I would.
Just for a video, maybe once. I don't know. Best multiplayer for the Game Awards. The nominees are as follows: Back for Blood, Knockout City, It Takes Two, Monster Hunter Rise, New World, Valheim.
This looks
So
this
Knockout
sucks.
City failed as a game.
Hardcore.
It had so much potential, and was it Ubisoft or EA?
No,
EA.
EA dropped the ball. They just did. I feel like New World has been the game out of these 6 that have sweeped the game. Valheim is the only
Yeah.
other one that I feel like even challenges that.
I don't even know why the fuck Back for Blood is there. And I think what they're talking about is New World. I mean, is multiplayer either like local or group based that is an online multiplayer of like competitive.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not
think,
competitive, but like
Why is
it's
Valheim on here,
cooperative.
though? Why is
onward.
Assassin's Creed Valheim on here?
Why is
That's
Assassin's Creed is Valhalla. Valheim
Oh.
is the new is like the 3D Minecraft thing that
Okay.
everybody plays. I'm not a big fan.
New
of it.
World.
I'm not a fan of Valheim personally, but that's because I love Minecraft.
Yeah, New World.
So I'm gonna give it to
hold
New
up,
World.
Valheim. Okay, now I remember Valheim. I actually want to give it to Valheim.
Why do you like Valheim but not Minecraft?
Because Vikings.
There's
And
nothing
not blocks.
Viking about it. It's Minecraft.
Oh my!
It's just Minecraft. Am I wrong? Is Valheim not just Minecraft?
I don't know. I haven't played it.
Okay. All right.
Still
Well,
like-
New World
New
gets
World.
the vote
Yeah, I would
from
say
us here at the
New
Morning
World.
Madness podcast.
I don't know any.
Content Creator of the Year.
Don't know
The
any.
nominees are as follows: Dream, Foosley, Gales, Ebi, Gref G, VictoryTGH. Now, guys, I think this is a pretty obvious
Dream.
answer. It's going to be me. I think Victory is a great content creator and very deserving of Creator of the Year, though he hasn't uploaded much this year at all. Kind of defeats the entire purpose, but
That's Victory.
yeah, I'm willing. I'm going to give it to Victory. I think Victory gets the vote from the Morning Madness podcast on
God
this
damn
one.
it. Yeah, I don't know who any of those fuckers were.
Dream is-
realistically, Dream and
don't-
Foosley are the only two I know.
I only know
And
Dream.
It's going to go to
about any
Dream.
of
You know Dream's winning that without a doubt.
I don't know who that is.
The Minecraft guy, you know Dream. Everybody has to have seen him or knows about him at least once. He is the owner of
When
YouTube
I tell
right
you
now.
that I do not
He
keep up
owns
with
YouTube right now and
Okay.
Twitch right now. The Dream SMP was like the
you can keep
cornerstone
telling
of
his
Twitch
name.
all
I
of
don't
pandemic.
know. I do not know who this dude is.
Fair enough.
All right, moving on.
You're disconnected. You're old. I forget you're old. Dude. It
Best
happens.
debut indie.
That's fucking Minecraft, dog.
Best debut indie game for the Game Awards. The nominees are as follows: The Artful Escape, The Forgotten City, Kena, Bridge of Spirits, Sable, Valheim. Where are we going with this one? I don't know.
I don't
haven't
see
played any
that.
of
I don't
these.
see that shit on here.
Well, you're not on the actual Game Awards page, are you?
Well, these are the categories that they were in, though, too. It's from IGN.
No, well, it's IGN. That's your first mistake.
I don't know. Kena.
It's
I
getting like
don't know any of
realistically,
them.
yeah. I feel like this makes me feel bad as if I don't play enough indie games, but I definitely do. It's just these aren't the ones that I played. Like these aren't the ones that I feel like
And now
deserve.
this.
them.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Now,
like, it's all
This
This
is
is a
a category.
What is it?
All right. Most anticipated game for the Game Awards. The nominees are as follows: Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, the sequel to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Starfield. There are so many good games on this list. I feel like Starfield has to be the one, though, right? Like
Starfield,
it's
bro.
Bethesda, dude.
Well, okay.
It's
okay.
Bethesda doing something new for the first time ever.
But then there's Elden Ring.
Elden Ring is the other big one.
Are
And then God of War. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's so you
Dog,
can't pick. You can't pick.
Oh yeah, I can. God of
I
War,
have never
easy.
played God of War.
Okay, bruh.
So
Moving on. We don't need to talk about that.
Oh, we don't need to talk about God of War.
No, I'm saying we don't need to talk about Victory's lack of God of War experience.
but Starfield
Okay, Starfield
is-
looked incredible.
I
And
haven't
think-
wait, have they had anything to show for it?
Yeah, they showed it at E3 this summer.
I need to look into it
So,
because I want to
Starfield, and this is something that I'm really proud of Bethesda about, and I'm going to make this quick, but Bethesda, everyone's like, give us Elder Scrolls 6, give us the Fallout update, and they're like, no. Every single ounce of our effort has been going into Starfield, because we need this to be the best game that we've released in years, since Skyrim. And I think it could be.
The best game we've released since Skyrim 1 week ago.
But
we released
God of
it
War,
last
obviously, it's
month.
going to be incredible because God of War 2018 was incredible. Ragnarok is going to be great because we're delving into so many newer assets of the lore that's just so cool.
If I play the one from the PS4, would that Is that enough, or do I have to go play the old one?
That's the one that you need to play. That's the 2018 remake.
You can play
but do I have to play the old ones?
No.
See,
You don't have to.
like you don't have to, but like it's always good to.
I mean,
play
like,
the
will I
two.
be like, will I not feel the effects of the new one
No,
as much if I don't play the old ones?
I hadn't played the older ones, and I played the 2018 one, and I still
The
cried.
2018 one you really need to play.
You guys need to stop looking at these I haven't played this game as you're an asshole, and more as you can stream this game then. So just wait for the God of War to come out on PC, which it is. It's confirmed to come out soon.
in a month.
And I'll stream it then. I'll learn the game. I'll catch up.
Well, you had a PS4 this entire time, and like PS4 has
played. I didn't play God of War like that. I played Spider-Man. I played Ratchet and Clank.
See, it's weird because all the people. It's like I don't know. There's a lot of things.
Let's give it to God of War.
But-
Even though I know Starfield's my most
Really?
anticipated, God of War is God of War, and at the end of the day,
I think it's Starfield, then Elden Ring, then Ragnarok. Also, Breath of the Wild. Don't sleep on that sequel. Everybody's waiting for that as well.
Yeah, but we just don't know too much about it.
Yeah, we're too much in the dark.
And then Horizon is Horizon. Like
That's fair.
Yeah, they're
Most
all great.
Horizon was I just hope. I really do hope that
It's going to be a good game. Horizon Zero Dawn was good. This one will be good. Most anticipated game, God of War, Ragnarok. Best esports game. The nominees are Overwatch isn't even on here. What is this bullshit?
Doesn't really
It's
deserve
been
to
on
be
for
on
the
here.
Well, fuck this category.
It's been on for the past 3 years.
Yeah, fair. All right. Best esports game. The nominees are as follows: Call of Duty, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Dota 2, League of Legends, Valorant. Guys, I started sweating butter just reading that list. I won't lie.
Valorant? I don't know.
Valorant does not deserve it. I'm not giving it to
Hell
Valorant.
no,
Fuck
Valorant.
They
Oh
don't
my
deserve
God,
an
dude.
award. I would burn that game
Dota?
to the
I
ground.
don't even know what to fucking give it to.
It's
If they're only going off of this is just popularity. These
This
are all
is based on based on like who's watching.
It's between League of Legends and Valorant, and it makes me sick to give it to either one of them.
Dude,
so.
I what's called in terms of like popularity, it's
CS:GO is number one on the What's Being Played page on Steam.
I guess
at all
give it to
times.
CS:GO, like, because at least it's been like.
It pains me to give it to CS:GO so much.
I'd much rather give it to League. To be quite
This is
honest.
our
Really?
opinion.
I would much.
I would rather give it
League.
to League of Legends.
Either
I
League
never
or
thought
Dota.
you'd. Yeah, I hear you say that, but I agree.
Yeah.
Leagues. That's one thing about Riot. They've been putting a lot into League that's good.
And,
I
like,
mean,
Also,
CS:GO
is Riot just releasing a bunch of League of Legends spin-off games? Is that what's
No,
happening?
so basically, Arcane came out.
creator
Arcane
company?
came out, and again, I'll make this quick, but Arcane came out, and they basically added updates into every single one of their games. Arcane has affected every single one of their releases, so it's affected Wild Rift, League of Legends, Valorant. What's that one? Their card game,
Legends of Runeterra.
whatever the one. Their other MMORPG. Every single game has Arcane stuff going on, and I love it.
What?
Riot has been killing
So
it
stuff
lately.
for their anime, right?
Yeah, it's on Netflix. I started watching the first episode, but I fell sick.
I actually want to start it. It looks
It
really good.
looks
But like,
really good.
there's a bunch of spin-off games in the League of Legends world being released on Steam now.
Oh yeah.
I haven't heard about those ones.
The Ruined King or something.
Stuff like that, yeah.
Which is all stuff from the League lore that they're basically just doing more accessible games that are League style, but they're not the same like hardcore.
That's kind of cool. That's a good way to flesh out your lore. I
was
like
gonna say
that.
like for the amount of characters they have. Oh, I fucking
Riot's
hope
fucking
so.
killing. Yeah, give it to
Best
League.
esports athlete. The nominees are as follows: Chris Simp Lear, Ned Showmaker Sue, Magomed Collapse Kalilov, Oleksandr Simple Kotsiliev, Tyson Tens Ngo.
Tens.
Now, guys, I think the obvious answer.
Simp.
So, does anybody actually know any of these players?
Yeah, I know tens.
I know Tens, Simple, Showmaker, and Simp. I actually know like a lot of these guys.
So my biggest problem with
Tens
with
is like the only one
esports
I can
players
tolerate.
is the thing with
'cause
esports
his
players
girlfriend
is
is hot.
it feels weird. It's like, do they have fans? Do esports players
Yeah.
themselves have fans?
Yeah.
How? Where does the personality come from? Because unless you're a content creator, I feel like you're not gonna get that personality across.
I don't think you have to have a personality to have a to be. If you're good, super good
So
at
you just have to be
gaming,
good looking and good at the game.
No, you just need to be good
Yeah,
at
you
the
just need to
game.
be good at the game.
It's the only
No one
thing that
watches
people.
your face unless you're a girl.
So then where? So they have fans, but no fans. Then nobody's gonna look at them on the street and go, "Hey, how are you doing? How was your day?"
No, they will. They will. These guys legit have
Like
fans.
Silly Soul watching Super.
Right,
Yeah.
but will they care is what I mean. At the end of the day, the reason I could never go into esports is because I feel like if someone approached you on the street and they're like, hey, you're that guy who plays that game, not, hey, you're that person, and hey, I want to talk to you and get to know what's on your brain.
Well, like,
I feel like people don't care about esports players the way they care about content creators, or the way that, like, that's just a guy who plays that game you like really well.
Well, yeah, if you
Whereas-
simplify it down to that, yeah. But like that's just that comes
where
with the
else are
territory.
you getting the personality from? I feel like
that comes
their
more
Instagram
afterwards, though, too.
stories, like
It's really hard because when it comes to like esports, like, people who look to esports players as like as fans and stuff, they don't look like, oh my god, like like your personality is so great. I want to like, it's like you're good, really good at the game.
well, then,
and, like,
then doesn't that mean it's fleeting? Then that popularity's gone as soon as that game dies, or as soon as the next big thing's there. I feel like that is an impermanent fan base, and that's an inauthentic fan experience.
That's
that's-
streaming.
yeah.
Because no, that's not streaming. That's
For
not what
esports,
streaming
yeah.
is.
For esports
yes,
players,
that's
yeah.
what esports playing is. But like that's what I'm saying. They don't have fans. Then they don't have fans that'll still be there when the game's gone.
I think that's
So
false.
that was my point.
yeah. Wait, hold up. What? I'm confused now.
The
because-
fans won't be there when the
but they
game's
will though. When that game's, there'll still be people talking about them.
but
and
not
stuff.
all of them.
Well, that's
Maybe
the thing.
25%.
Okay,
right?
so
Yeah, but you don't
here's
need
the
your
thing.
whole entire
Take-
fan
take-
base to talk
take-
about you.
I would say I need 100% of the fan base to stick
Take the
stick with you
Overwatch
through it.
conundrum going on right now. Okay, take Super and all the other Overwatch League streamers. Every day they shit on Blizzard and they shit on Overwatch. But what do? They play Overwatch on their stream 8 hours a day because it's their job. Okay? They say, Super says, Overwatch 2 looks like garbage. I'm not going to play. Day 1, he's going to be playing Overwatch 2. Actually, no. Day -3, because he's probably going to have early access to it. These people don't fucking care about their fans. They care about the money that's rolling in from their stream because they know the only way they're going to get money is because they have people that are waiting for them to play Overwatch 2. They don't care who rolls up in their stream to say, hey, what's up? They don't care. That's why, like, half these guys are, look like this. Not to shame anyone, body shame, but at the same time, like, that's why they're famous in that way.
Yeah.
Not because of who they are,
Yeah.
but because of the fact that they're good at their job and they can bring in that much money for themselves. Blizzard gets a cut, Twitch gets a cut. It's all a giant business. They don't care about their fans. The same thing like Tom Cruise doesn't give a shit about Bobby Joe that goes to see Mission Impossible 8 times.
Fair. We have an interesting like perspective on this as people who are both collegiate esports players and as us. And technically, even though you guys only do the podcast, as content creators as well, we all three of us are content creators, not just me. So it's like,
I genuinely...
we get to see it from both angles.
I guess
I hate the esports streaming scene because
Right.
these people act like they have such high and mighty opinions when at the end of the day, they're just ants under the boot of the developer.
Right.
yeah, you got 100%.
And then
I'd
there's
rather people come up as fans of our podcast and ask and care about us
Right.
as the people, not because we play Overwatch.
Right. That's
Oh, yeah,
exactly
no.
it.
But I mean, like, no.
Anyways,
Anyway,
last 2 categories.
Yeah. Best
I don't-
esports team.
I don't give a shit.
Really,
I don't know any of the-
Sentinels,
yeah.
Maybe I don't know.
The FaZe
Esports coach.
These esports events suck.
Esports event. Is that everything?
Yeah, that's everything.
International what?
The PUBG Mobile Championship. We'll give it to them.
There's not a lot going on
All
for that
right.
game anyway.
Well, that means we went through all the important categories of the Game Awards really quickly. How much time we got? I think we're
1
done.
minute.
Right?
Dude, we
oh my
went-
God!
we
Wait,
lit-
it's 10.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna be here for 2 hours.
Like what's it like? That's why like we were both kind of looking at each other like when you did the time thing and then you kept reading off all the stuff.
We need to. Okay. All right. Well, this was an interesting breakdown and a great debate here on the Morning Madness podcast. We've got a lot more to talk about. We didn't even really get to touch on Spider-Man, but I guess
That'll be its own episode.
we'll get to talk about it next time. Either way, let's do our plugs and close it out. So, TJ, do you want to start?
Instagram, whatever it is, TEEJAYTUTASI. I'm wondering if I should I'm getting really bored. I just really want Twitter now. I'm just because I'm bored.
Twitter's
I don't think
fun.
that's a good idea.
Depending
It's
on
not
the
really-
pages you follow, it can be fun because you get a bird's eye view of the absolute atrocity that is this world.
And that's really what I want to stay away from.
What about you, Carlos?
This week it's USB-C. Just kidding. Intentional lens flare on Instagram. And you, Victory?
All right. Well, obviously, both of their, all of their links to their socials will be in the description of this podcast, both on all audio platforms and on YouTube in the description. But you can find this podcast, the Morning Madness podcast, on all audio platforms, Anchor and Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, and more, as well as the video podcast on YouTube at VictoryTGH. You can also find me on all social media platforms at VictoryTGH. That's YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and more. Other than that, thank you so much for watching the podcast and listening to the podcast, and we will see you guys next morning. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.